Hopefully Den doesn't freak out when I do this. For some reason, when I count down and clap, he loses his mind. All right, guys, ready? All right. 1, 2, 3, clap. October is among us, the superior month. Fall is swiftly approaching. Spooky season is here. I'm thrilled for that. Gentlemen, it's been roughly 3 months since we've recorded a podcast. I've missed you all terribly. Tonight, it's just myself, Garrett Drake, joined alongside Jacob Alka.
Hello.
And our dear friend Sam Harris from the community. Friend from the community. And Preston is absent. He's missing in action. He's been in Houston, Texas for I don't know how many weeks now, at least 5. He said it'd be a total of 8.
He lives there now.
He basically lives in Texas, but we miss him, but we're glad Sam could join us, and we've been wanting to do this again with Sam for a while, so it really worked out, honestly. It's been forever. I haven't even had a conversation with Jacob since the last episode of the podcast, I don't think, which is
hardly,
crazy.
Yeah, we've texted a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah, that's it. We've not had a conversation. I mean, as everyone knows who's a relatively an adult who either listens or has been a part of this podcast, life happens, and our schedules conflicted pretty extensively there for a bit, but thankfully we were able to make tonight happen. Grateful for that, and so excited to catch up on video games and fun questions from the community, and hopefully not go another 3 months without doing another one. All that being said, gentlemen, fill me in on your lives, the good, the bad, the terrifying, considering it's October. So what's new?
I just want to say one thing first. Garrett, it's good to hear your voice again, and I briefly saw you earlier. You look well. Din looks well. Sam, you look well. Thank you for joining us this
Thank
week.
you.
But yeah, let's not make it another 3 months till the next one.
Please.
But Sam, I want to hear about what you've been up to.
Well, a lot's happened, quite a bit. Let's see. This year, a lot went down. I met a girl in January, and now we're living together.
Wow.
Boy meets girl.
Yeah. We actually met over Bumble last November.
I've heard of
and
Bumble.
And then we met in January and began dating near the middle of January and been that way ever since. And then I actually moved down here I'm in Alabama right now. Mm-hmm. Moved here at the end of July. Basically August 1st was my move-in day. To her house, and just been I found a job. I've been working there for maybe about a month or so, month and a half. I have been on this journey of joining the military, specifically the National Guard. I was going to do Army, but the 4-year deployment just seemed like it's going to kind of disrupt our plans, my girlfriend and I. And so I was like, you know what, I'll just do National Guard because it's the same benefits as being in the military. It's just you have more freedom to do things like I want to go back to school, and I can also work a part-time job and not be away so much. So going with that, I'm literally on the cusp. Military's they're so strict with like their requirements. Army is the most lenient. Air Force was originally going to do. They're very, very tough. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. So I just went with the Army, and literally I got like an inch to lose on my waist. If I do that, then I pass. And then after that, I can have a little more leniency. I'm not going to gain a bunch of weight after that, but it's going to give me a little breathing room. And it's just going to at least, I'll be less stressed. And if I'm less stressed, then I'll feel like, hey, I can just kind of take it a little easy, but not like, start picking out or, binge eating.
So I really want to know, I got to interrupt you. Do you have to maintain your weight while you're active?
So there's a couple ways to stay in. One is the tape test, which is your neck to waist ratio. It's and your height, your waist. It's weight, waist size, neck size, and your height. And it's based on the BMI, which I think is an outdated system, but that's another discussion. If you don't pass that, as long as you pass your physical test, which is a 2-mile run, sit-ups, push-ups, and some other workout. If you pass the requirements there, then it doesn't matter if you don't pass tape. So, and the thing is that when you go to basic training, which is 10 weeks, which I'll go first, I'll lose the weight easily. I mean, because I'm supposed to be down to 195, which I haven't been under 200 in like 20 years, maybe. It's been a long time. So,
Yeah.
But with my genetics, I don't know if I'd be able to stay under 200, to be honest. But as long as I reach the weight goal they want me to be at after basic, then I'm fine. Then if I'm overweight, it's no big deal. Just as long as I pass the physical exam, which is just, what I just described. But yeah, really close. My recruiter is, he's going to give me, we're doing a very weird technique that I've never heard of, but apparently it's very effective. Essentially 3 days before you go to the processing center, I'm not kidding, you take preparation H, you rub it across your belly button all the way and all where your love handles are at. Then you take saran wrap it as tight as you can, go to sleep. Next morning, take it off. The next night, you do the same. Then you do it for 3 nights in a row. And apparently what it does is, because preparation H reduces swelling, and I guess your skin around your waist is you can reduce the swelling. I don't know. I don't understand the science, but apparently it's a well-known like recruiter trick.
I'm going to try this.
But essentially what it's going to do is it's going to at least get me over the hump to at least pass. Also, there's neck techniques when they're measuring your neck. My neck's actually shrunk, which sucks because of the ratio. But essentially, he's like and also when you go to tape your waist head to suck in, but be able to suck in, it has to have a conversation, so it's not obvious. So there's these little tricks and tips he's showing me to like get past it, because again, it's ridiculous what you have to do. But yeah, next week is when I'll go up there and hopefully pass, and then I'll actually be enlisted, even though I haven't been to basic yet. So I'll get a military ID. I'll have the benefits of being in the military. I'll actually get to go to a couple of drills before I go out. And a drill is essentially 1 week in a month. You go out to a field or whatever, and whatever your job is, you basically kind of work that job, essentially. But I would be going with him to learn about what's going to go out in basic. After basic's done, which is 10 weeks, then I go to my job training, which is 15 weeks. So all in all, 6 months. So not too bad. So I get shipped out in January, then I'll be done by June. So, but yeah, it's been 3 years coming. Just this last little hump has really been the hardest thing. It's just food temptation is the biggest thing for me. My relationship with food has definitely gotten better, but I still have some bad habits. Yeah. But I've really, see, with my body type, I can put on weight and muscle really easily. Oh, really? And I know it's like, oh no, you put on muscle so easily. Well, the thing is that like when you're trying to join the military, muscle's fine, but it also adds, it's still weight. It's still weight. So that's the only problem. I haven't been able to do any heavy lifting. I've only been able to do cardio and then body workouts, like, calisthenics and stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm just ready to start this part of my life, this chapter in my life. Yep. And then also planning on proposing at Christmas.
Oh, she's not gonna watch, is she?
No. She knows I'm.
Hey, maybe that episode ever come out? No. They canned it.
Wait, what happened? What's her Twitter?
Actually, she has a Twitter. She does. She probably won't watch this or listen to it. I mean, if she wants to, but I'll just have to tell her at this time, don't listen to this. Just waiting on her ring, because what she wants to do is she wants to get a simple band, and then her grandmother, who passed away I think earlier this year, she wants to get the stones from that and get it embedded on the ring, and that's what she wants to be her engagement ring.
It's like forging the infinity gauntlet for the proposal.
Pretty much, which is good for me because it might be it might save me some money that I can actually afford it. But yeah, I'm gonna propose at Christmas, and then we're looking at either July or next fall for a wedding because we want to go ahead and get it rolling. But yeah, it's exciting, and I never imagined like at the beginning of this year that I would want to be getting married by the end of it. But it was all perfect timing, and both of us are on the same page with what we want in life. it just seemed like we were meant to. I know it sounds so cliche and so like rom-com, but honestly, we just click so well. We're so compatible, and it just seems like it was like literally meant to be. That's all I can describe it as.
Yeah.
As much as a cliche it is. But I never gave up hope. I never really. I mean, there were times when I thought I'd never find anyone, but honestly, I think if I can find someone, then I think anyone can. But you know. My it's been crazy this year. Just so many ups and downs, but mostly ups. But man, it's been a great ride so far, year wise.
Well, that's good to hear.
Huge congrats, man. Your perseverance and endurance through all that is truly inspiring, because I've not had to face a physical hurdle like that in my life. There's like you see the goal ahead of you, and you know like the road's going to be difficult, but the fact that you've stuck to it all this time is
and you're so close.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Finish the fight, as Master Chief would say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dude, those words got me through my last 6 months of college when the pandemic was raging. So.
Yeah.
Not the same at all, but like I needed similar motivation.
I think it's the same to a degree. I think everyone goes through a trial and tribulations, and everyone's different. It's just because I had to do it physically and stuff doesn't mean that like anyone who goes through something doesn't mean it's valid. So I think what you went through is just the same struggle as I've been going through too. Yeah,
well, I'm glad we have each other to lean on. Sam and I had a chance to hang out a couple of times. When was the last time we saw each other?
We saw each other.
Was it before July?
I think it was in May or April.
Okay, so not terribly long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't too long, because I think we met up in March. Yeah, we met up in March. That's when
the day we got burgers?
Yes, we got the burgers.
And then the second time was East Pole Coffee in Atlanta. Yes,
it was. It was coffee. So those are really good days.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think when I mentioned it to you, when I saw you, I was like, you know what? I kind of had a starstruck moment. Because when you meet someone who's an online personality, it's like, oh, I get to meet sort of like not a pseudo celebrity, but like, someone who's somewhat well known. So, but again, it was really cool, and could just come to fruition that, hey, I got to meet someone that talks online.
No, it's funny because like Jacob and I and President have always joked that like we have a very humble podcast, but we've been grateful for the support. Really across the planet. Obviously, it isn't gargantuan, but we've had listeners tune in over the years that continue to do so, which is truly amazing to me, considering our inconsistency, our unprofessionalism, and for many other different reasons. It always fascinates me, but I am glad that we had the chance to hang out a couple of times, and I'm sure that's bound to happen plenty of other times. But
yeah, definitely sure. Now where I live, it's only a matter of hours instead of several hours. So
yeah. So those were fun days, man.
And her family's and my girlfriend's family is from Georgia, so we'll probably be frequenting there, whenever.
Yeah, man, you have such an exciting road ahead between completing your goal, proposal, and hopefully you've had some chance to play a little bit of video games in all this time.
I have.
Okay, well, I'm excited to talk about that too.
Yeah,
because as we know, that's the one of the collective things that brought us all together on this show in the first place. So, plenty to catch up on video games, that's for sure. Jacob, what's been going on in your life?
Man, I've been doing stuff. Let me
tell you. Shaved your head.
I shaved my head.
That's big news.
For the first time ever.
Tell me what motivated you to do that. Was it similar to Preston where he just couldn't take it anymore?
What do you mean couldn't take it anymore?
Because I don't know if you remember this. Preston was... I say this, this is sort of exaggerating, but Preston more or less was threatening us with shaving his head for months. He's like, I'm sick of my hair. I'm going to shave my head. And we're like, just do it. And I came home from work one night and he had finally shaved his head. I think Zach had helped him and I was so proud of him. And he looks great.
Wait, he did this at the apartment?
Yeah, he did. In our apartment in 2012, he shaved his head. I'll never forget that because it was such a big moment in his life to finally make that decision.
I guess he did.
So,
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
he hated his hair.
Yeah, that's
remember
what
that.
motivated. He just didn't like his hair. That's what motivated him to do that.
I thought
So
he
I'm
looked
wondering.
fine, but he just didn't.
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, he just didn't like it. But I'm wondering what your motivation was to do that.
So my hair's been like thinning lately on the top. So I was just like, I'm just gonna shave it, see how it grows back, and if I don't like how it grows back, I'm just gonna stay bald. That's
Nice.
That's all it was.
I guess that makes you, Elliot Clark, Preston Pugh. Maybe
Who's
any other
next?
friends that are, like intentionally bald.
Do I? No.
I can't think of any.
Mm-mm.
I'll be bald at basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be
Are
brothers.
you gonna beat him to it? You're just gonna shave your head the day before you go.
I was gonna.
You should.
I had a barber back home in North Carolina. I was gonna actually give him the honors of shaving it. So maybe because I'm planning on go back there during Christmas. So I think if I can catch him, I'll let him just go ahead and shave it. Because if all goes well, then I'll get shipped out in January. Might as well go ahead and embrace it. So and it's not like I'm gonna be worried about the cold because I'm in the South during the winter, so I don't think I have a lot to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I went to my barber, had him shave it. Because, like we were just talking about, because he notices, like, my hair has been getting shorter and shorter. Like, I'll just, like, not grow it out as long as I used to. And he's like, when are you going to shave it? You're working towards it. And then we just got to talking, and then, he was like, I have to be the one to shave it. I will not allow you to shave it yourself. So I was like, okay, I'll come in. Leave you a nice tip, because you're good company.
I would rock a shaved head every day of my life if I
do
could.
it.
But I've had every woman in my life, whether it's a girlfriend, my mother, my sister, my
Your mother.
aunt, everyone has said a buzzed head does not suit me. And I'm aware of the fact I have an
Why?
egg-shaped head. I have an egg-shaped head. So when my head's buzzed, I'm looking pretty wild.
I mean, I do too.
Though I've always loved the convenience of just rolling out of bed, getting out of the shower. You don't have to do anything. It's just freeing. You get plenty of airflow across your head. It's an amazing feeling. And I would do that if I could. But maybe when I'm married one day, maybe I can talk to my wife about it. We can find a happy medium. Just let me wear my hair as short as I like. But
Here, the best part about having no hair is having the windows down, driving in the car.
that's what I'm trying to say, dude. That's an
awesome.
amazing feeling.
Because you don't care about your hair getting messed up. 'Cause that was
Yeah.
always something that I worried about.
You get all that wonderful airflow too.
And the wind just feels better. Feels
over the
great.
top of your skull.
It's
You're more
liberating.
aerodynamic too.
Yeah.
You are.
You should
Imagine
see me
how
run.
much
I zoom.
faster you could run and swim, dude. You're like superhuman when your head's shaved.
Yeah. I just gotta shave my arms, shave my legs, shave my beard. That's something I haven't done yet. Shave the beard and the head.
Yeah. I'm curious about the
Don't know how that
sweat
would
though.
look.
Like how bad the sweat going to be.
The sweat sucks. It's awful.
You wear a headband.
It's the worst thing ever. You have to wear a headband.
You wear a headband to the gym
crazy.
now?
No, but I always bring a towel. I bring my own
Okay.
towel because
Yeah.
I am disgusting.
I think LeBron James can look good in a headband, but most people look kind of silly in a headband.
I look fine. Well, I actually haven't had one on since I've been bald. So I'll top so.
That's the opportunity to get a cool headband then.
You gonna whip one out, Jacob? Man, this is a pretty exciting reveal.
Oh man.
Wonder what color it is. If Jacob's thinking at all, it should be blue, but it's probably black or red. Yep.
There you go. See? That's classy.
Hey, you look great, Jacob. No, you weren't kidding.
Doesn't look bad.
No, you look good.
Doesn't look good either.
I mean, you have a well-shaped head, so it works for you.
Well, I have an egg-shaped head.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I
Trust
do.
me.
What do you mean?
I have an egg-shaped head. You do not have an egg-shaped head.
What is this then? An oval?
Yeah, you have a normal-shaped skull.
There is no normal shape.
I'd say the most average-looking skull, like the most rounded, proportional skull I've seen. I'm a
Garrett,
bald man. You're not really bald, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost bald. It's like
Well, Jacob, everything we've covered here, I think all in all, we can say that you look phenomenal. So,
thank you.
um,
That means a lot coming from you, because everyone knows, I have a special place for you in my heart.
yeah, likewise, man, I've thought about you nearly every day since we
Yes.
last spoke.
Well, you haven't
And,
spoken to me every day.
I know, but you've been on my mind, trust me, most days.
I appreciate that.
So I'd like to see you again at some point. You can come to Atlanta anytime you want, dude. I can really make
I've
any
been
day
down
work.
there, a few times.
You haven't
last
hit
few
me
months.
up once.
I haven't.
Why is
You're
that?
always gone. You're out of town.
I'm not gone all the time.
You're always gone. You really are. You're
Is
always
that,
gone.
is that your only excuse for not reaching out? Is that I'm out of town?
Yes. Yeah.
How do you know I'm out of town?
Instagram.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Got him.
Got him.
What else have I been doing? I went camping one weekend.
Oh, nice.
By
Like
yourself? Who'd you go with?
No, not by myself. Are you kidding me? Who does that?
Some people do.
I'm sure they do, and they're probably weird. But I went camping with my uncle and my cousin. We went to a little place called Gooch Gap.
Gooch Gap.
Gooch Gap. And it's one of the trails that leads up to the start of the Appalachian Trail.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
And
Gooch Gap.
I think it intersects with what's that little waterfall called, Garrett? Up in Dahlonega. I forgot what it's called. Is it
Amicalola.
Yeah, Amicalola. Yeah, it'll lead up to that, which goes to the trail. So,
Cool.
but there's camping sites on the trail. So
Nice.
we went out there, hiked 10 miles, got to a camping site on Friday. So this is like the first time that I've ever really camped, I've kind of camped, but this is like the first real time. So like I learned how to make a fire, like I learned how to like stack the sticks, and then we brought some flint, threw it in there, and we had the little spark thing. So we were throwing sparks into the fire. Oh, Garrett, there you are. Garrett just turned he turned his face cam on. Yeah, learn how to make a fire. That was really fun. Had these. Oh, I ate a dry freezed ice cream sandwich. It was surprisingly, it tasted just like a real ice cream sandwich. I was mind blown. But it wasn't cold at all.
Dry freezed.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I have no clue. It was just in a package. I ripped it open. It was an ice cream sandwich. Like it looked like one. It tasted like one, but it wasn't cold. So that blew my mind. We slept in hammocks. We didn't like have a tent or anything like that. So that was interesting trying to fall asleep in a hammock, and I struggled quite a bit, I gotta say. I probably laid there for 2 hours easily, not being able to fall asleep. And we went to bed at 8 o'clock, because that's when the sun goes down. Like you're not staying up late when you're camping. You're going to bed when there's no more light, or when your campfire runs out. We did, but well, we I guess we did before it got dark. So
Okay.
we were lame, but we had to you get up at 7, right? When the sun comes up. So,
What'd you do all day?
That's like solid 12 hours of sleep you could potentially get. I probably got maybe 6 or 7. Like I was tossing and turning all night. I was waking up constantly. I went to bed having to go to the bathroom. So I woke up at 2 a.m. like almost peeing myself. So I had to like rip open my hammock and like stumble into my shoes that were below, go scurry off to the plants, and I almost tripped and fell on my face. There was this little root. I almost ate it, man. But that's basically, the extent of the trip. I mean, we had that dinner and then we had the breakfast the next morning. We took some river water. We were like purifying it into water bottles. But I mean, yeah, it was just a short little like 1 day hike in camp, with like about 19 miles total hiked. So it was fun. It was a new experience. It was nice to just not be inside as much as I kind of wanted to be inside when I was trying to go to sleep that night. It was nice to just be out in nature, just, listen to new things, if that makes sense.
Just listen to the nature.
Yeah, just listen to it. Just take it in. Just
I'd like to
be
go on
one with
a
it.
hike soon. I haven't been on a hike in a while.
We should
I've
go
been
on a
dying
hike.
to I want to take Den to the beach, and I want to take him on a hike because he just loves being outside. He would lose his mind at the beach. I know he would.
Oh, yeah.
I've just been so busy. I'd like to find a weekend soon before it gets too cold.
I'd like it if you took me to the
sometime
beach.
this month. You can come with us if you want.
I'll let you put me on a leash.
Okay. You and Den.
Yeah. We'll see who likes it more.
Oh man.
I'd go hiking with you.
Yeah, I'm down for a hike, man. Anytime, especially as it cools down a bit and the leaves start changing. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great time to hike right now too.
What else has been going on aside from your little nature getaway?
Besides games and new things I've been watching, not a whole lot, I don't think. I'm trying to think of what else I've been doing. I've had less and less time to game, and it's been annoying. I'm very busy at work now, and it's
You still doing the same
not
job?
fun. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm driving and working in an office now, so.
Which do you prefer? Do you like the balance of both?
I kind of like the balance, but I prefer being in the office because then I can just not focus on having to pay attention to the road, and I can just be on my phone if I'm not busy,
Yeah.
And I have like privacy. There's no one like watching me.
That's cool. You have your own office.
Well, it's kind of like cubicle. There's like 2 other people in there with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you do when you're in the office?
I'm doing like sales.
So are you making calls or are you taking calls? Or is it all like online type sales?
It's like a combination of like calling people that we work with and then going on location to like gyms or some of our partners and like trying to sell our plans to people that are in there for their workout or whatever. So sometimes I'll be sent out with like another guy, one of the other salespeople, to go talk to people and try and get them to sign up. So it's been nice to do something new in that regard. I don't know if I'm much of a salesman per se, but it's fun. It's better than just like driving all the time and then like working in a warehouse.
Yeah, that's cool that you have the balance though. If you feel like being out on the road, it's got to be nice to just get out of the office for a bit and then come back and chill. I mean, it's kind of like what I do is like we'll have long, intensive shoot days, and then the in between we're at home editing, which is nice to have the balance. So I get that.
Yeah, but it has been more hours though, so that's the only thing. But more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, just nothing too new. I want to hear what you've been up to.
Nice. Just working on my end, playing very few video games as well, unfortunately. The biggest event is we went on a 12-day tour around a chunk of the eastern part of the country to film a bunch of steel mills. We filmed 5 out of 36 steel mills across the country. We'll probably end up doing the rest over time, but knocked out 5 on the road, and it was just an amazing, fun adventure. The work was not overly intensive. It was pretty straightforward, and it was pretty cool to see how all these different steel mills operate and how they manufacture steel. Like you think about steel used for anything from like kitchen appliances to cars to, I mean, literally name anything that uses steel. All these factories manufacture that stuff and manipulate it in different ways for different products.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to see these like horrific giant machines and how they cut steel in half is pretty crazy. So it was pretty metal, dude. It was pretty metal.
It was pretty metal. I think you're right. Did each one of these like factories like specialize in making a particular certain like mold or something? You know what I mean?
Kind of. So it wasn't really like, oh, this steel mill makes all the kitchen trays. Yeah, it wasn't really like that. It was more crap. We got kicked out. You guys still there?
I think our call ended. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Garrett was talking about trays.
Yeah, are you still rolling on Audacity soon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I can pick up where we were. Anyway, so these steel mills, they take like big giant rolls of steel and then like roll them out on these big machines, and it chops the steel, usually just into big sheets, and then those sheets are loaded onto big trucks, and they're taken to other facilities where they turn them into the products.
Gotcha.
Essentially, so we were filming all the cool stuff. I mean, the clouds are so beautiful outside that it like kills me. I'm not time lapsing them right now. It is insane how beautiful they are.
There's going to be another day.
Yeah, there will.
I promise you.
I'm a big fan of gorgeous clouds, and man, nice. I'm like obsessed with time lapses recently. Anyway, no, it was just cool seeing those facilities, and the most fun was just being with the awesome dudes I work with, and because we just work so well together and we just have a ton of fun. getting the job done. So we got to tour a big part of the country, drove over. I mean, I think we ended up making a lot of detours to do other fun stuff along the way. So our total mileage count was 3,700 miles, which was pretty wild. But big highlights were Cleveland, Detroit. Detroit was amazing. I'll talk about that in a minute. Chicago, Houston, and then New Orleans the last night. Not really in the heart of New Orleans. We just got to have some good New Orleans seafood our last night, which is cool. But anyway, so fun time on the road. We rented a big Sprinter van and filled it with all of our gear and just hung out for 12 days on the road. It was sick.
Yeah, it sounds fun, but also I don't know what I'm even trying to say. It sounds like would it get tiring after a while? Like, are you exhausted after a certain point?
No, I mean that's what was great is that that's what's crazy is that we all went into it with the mindset of like these are going to be really brutal work days where we're filming.
You didn't sleep in that thing, did you?
No. We slept in hotels.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we did not sleep out of the van.
Okay.
So we got good sleep every night. All of our hotels were right nearby where we were shooting. And because we normally shoot days are like on average like 10 to 12 hours minimum for what we're doing. So we went into these places with the assumption, we had a very specific shot list. We knew what we were going in to do. We weren't just going in there and like flying our cameras around just hoping to get something cool. So we knew exactly what we were going to do. But on paper, it seemed like it was going to take us a long time. But I think the most time we spent in any steel mill was like 5 hours. So Our shortest day was like 3.5 and our longest day was like 5. So most days we were out before lunch. So we'd go in there, fueled on coffee, and knock it out and just bail and go get margaritas somewhere after and then hit the road.
Margaritas.
So, yeah,
nice.
That's
margaritas
one of
with the boys.
One of our traditions is most shoots when we finish, we get margaritas. So we had amazing drinks on the road at all the restaurants we went to. Awesome food. And that's what's crazy is that we had some healthy meals, but most of them were terribly unhealthy, but incredibly delicious. So we had Chicago.
Go together.
Yeah, we had Chicago deep dish and I can't remember what it's called, stuffed pizza as well. At an incredible restaurant right on the edge of the perimeter of Chicago. It was called Connie's.
Yeah.
And that was just one of the best meals I've had in a long time. I'm not a big deep dish fan, but when you get like really good deep dish, dude, it hits so hard.
Hey, keep talking about that deep dish. I want to hear more
dude,
about it.
I could go for deep dish right now, honestly. It's been on my mind since we had it.
What kind of pizza was it?
It was Meat Lovers deep dish, and then we had a traditional stuffed where like the sauce is on top of all that cheese and pepperoni. So it was killer, dude. We had an amazing steak dinner one night. It was very classy. We all got New York strips. It was awesome. The last night in Houston, we went to a place called the Waffle Bus. I'd heard of it, but I'd never been, and they specialize in chicken and waffle type sandwiches.
Oh, man.
So you could get a freshly prepared waffle with hot fried chicken and then mac and cheese inside as well, and then pour hot syrup all over it and eat it like that.
Oh man, you're speaking my love language, dude.
And they also had cereal milkshakes. They had a Cinnamon Toast Crunch milkshake, a Fruity Pebbles milkshake. So dude. I got to be honest though, by that point in the trip, we'd had so much unhealthy food that I knew if I had that on top of everything we'd had the days prior, it would have destroyed me. And we had one more shoot day the following morning. I was like, I just have a gut feeling that if I eat this tonight, it's going to wreck me tomorrow. So I ended up skipping the Waffle Bus meal. I had a Cinnamon Toast Crunch milkshake after. I mean, I can't not skip out on that. But I had a salad at the Waffle Bus, and then I had the Cinnamon Toast Crunch milkshake. But that was divine as well. Like I mentioned, we got great seafood in Louisiana, right outside New Orleans, our last night. So it was just an amazing experience, man. Miraculously, by God's grace, nothing went wrong the entire time. Nice. It went exactly according to plan. But probably the highlight was our 2 off days in Detroit. My mentor and employer, his mentor lives in Detroit with his family, and he moved to Detroit back in the mid 2000s because he just had the foresight. He's like, I think Detroit's on its way back. I want to be a part of it. And so he's like a huge, he's just really into culture, just like throughout the entirety of the world. He's just really into different cultures. He's done stuff for National Geographic and stuff. He has this like pretty amazing career, but he's really been documenting a ton of Detroit's comeback over the last decade. So it's pretty amazing. He knows everything there is to know about that city. So he took half a day to drive us around all of Detroit and tell us the history of everything, what it was like then, what it was like now. I didn't realize one of the primary architects of New York City started in Detroit before New York started building all of its famous skyscrapers. Because you go there and the buildings are gorgeous in Detroit. And I'm like, why do these look so familiar? And he explained that one of the same architects in New York got his start in Detroit, which is pretty cool. The first paved road in the United States is in Detroit, and we rode on it, which is pretty cool.
Interesting.
How did it feel?
Because Henry Ford was based there. His house is directly across the street from one of the original Ford factories, which is pretty crazy. Wow. We went to the Planters factory, which has long been abandoned, but that factory is famous for being a manufacturer of just a million different types of products throughout the decades. It's long since been abandoned. It looks like something straight out of Fallout 3. But he snuck us in there, and we got to take some cool pictures and hang out for a bit. They had a really famous bakery there called Okra Bakery. Really great cinnamon rolls. Every pastry we had was incredible. Astro Coffee's there. We got some good coffee. But just he was awesome. Just his hospitality and kindness to take time out of his day to do that with us. And we got to hang out with his family that evening. And it was just a really cool, fun experience in Detroit because I knew nothing about Detroit other than just like the negative news I'd heard about it over the last several years of it just being kind of like a war zone. But it was a very lovely experience while we were there. It was cool. So, those clouds I can't handle how beautiful those clouds are. Dude. It is, the pink meeting the blue and then like the white and the depth behind it is just wild, dude. I need to see. Time lapsed it. So pretty. But yeah, that was a really fun trip. There's like a million funny stories in between, but that was the bulk of it. So grateful for that experience. Got to do what I love, which is camera operate a movie rig, which is cool. It's all the fun, smooth moving shots for these big rigs and the employees. So I love doing that. And just grateful for the team of guys I work with. I've shared this with everyone who's asked me about my work situation. It's like unequivocally God ordained the way it worked out, and who I'm working with is like such an absolute blessing that I never want to take for granted because it's just both incredibly fun and fulfilling every single day.
It's awesome.
So super grateful for that. But we're back doing a lot of post. Just wrapped a music video for the band Era, a metalcore band. Really awesome band. If you're into technical metal, like really technical meets very melodic. So it's like very catchy technical metal. If you're into that kind of stuff, they're an awesome band. Highly recommend their latest album. It's self-titled, just called Era. It's black with like this cool triangular design. I'm pretty sure it's like going to go down as a masterpiece. At least instrumentally, it's incredible.
Sweet.
But those guys are super cool. So we did 2 videos with them back in August, and one of them came out today. The others do in December. So that was a fun edit, and just other little things in between we're working on. So grateful for that, man. We're just still trucking. So work's been cool, and outside of that, I don't think I have really anything else to report on. I can't really think of anything major that's occurred outside of work. So like I said, just been playing a few video games here and there. So if you guys are ready to jump into what we've been playing, I think we can do that.
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right, Sam, batter up, bro. What have you been playing?
Okay. So we were talking a little bit before we started the show, and playing my Switch mainly, just for convenience. Yeah, I have a PS4 as well, so just been going in between those. So I did play Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with Psychonauts, came out in like early 2000s, was on Xbox first and came into PS2, which I played for the first time last year on my PS4. And then it had been kickstarted for a while, and then it finally came out. It's funny because the Kickstarter promised it to be on PlayStation platform, Xbox PC, but then Double Fine got bought out by Xbox. Mm-hmm. So it's really funny to start up a PS4 game with Xbox Game Studios as part of the opening credits. So
it is strange.
Really, really funny. Great game.
Although less strange now.
I would say so, because this day and age is really weird.
Bethesda, which was also bought by Microsoft, they released Deathloop because it's a PlayStation exclusive, right? Mm-hmm. Or for console, it is.
Yeah.
I think it's coming to Xbox eventually.
Yeah, for sure. It's weird times right now.
Yeah.
Played that. Really fun. The platform is a little janky still, like 2000s jank. It is pretty smooth though. Like it is still really good though. Story wise, wrapped it really nice with the original story. I would highly recommend it. It's really good. Then I recently played a game which I've been waiting for about 6 years now. It's called Eastward. It's an indie game that is by a first-time studio called Pixpul. They're a Chinese-based studio, and it is some of the most beautiful pixel art you'll ever see. If you love pixel art, if you love just hand-drawn games, it is beautiful. The gameplay, it plays like a Legend of Zelda. It's top down, and you the combat's kind of similar. Essentially, it's also Earthbound inspired. If you ever played the Mother Earthbound series, heavily inspired by that and Zelda when it comes to that. Really great game. There are like you go to there's different environments you go to, and the detail is ridiculous. Like the city, one of the main hubs, you go to the city, like you could spend hours just looking and seeing all the tiny details here and there. I mean, it's gorgeous. Story wise, pretty interesting. You don't know what's going on. There's a lot of illusion of what's going on. The combat's probably the weakest part. It's sort of very simple, and the hitboxes are a little off here and there. I mean, it's their first game, so I don't expect them to get their mechanics down. But I'd say their art style's great. Art-wise, aesthetic, sound is excellent. The music's fantastic. Synthwave, beautiful. Ooh. It create the atmosphere it creates is excellent. I highly recommend it if you love pixel art and synthwave and just like adventure type games. Really fun. It had almost like a the Last of Us kind of feel to it, because you do play this guy he doesn't talk very much, and this little girl you sort of adopted her. So it had that kind of feel to it, but it was really, really cool. There's like time travel going on. There's multiple dimensions going on. It gets pretty crazy later in the story. But really, really cool. Highly recommend it. I'm looking forward to that studio, what they can accomplish with more time, and maybe getting bought out by a publisher. But just absolutely gorgeous. Then I recently played another indie game, been on indie kick lately. It's called Ashtalon, Tears of the Earth. I know, weird title. It is a Metroidvania inspired game that's also roguelike. So you play these three characters that enter a tower, and they have to stop their village being poisoned. The water that's flowing through is poison, and there's this huge tower called the Tower of Gorgons, and they got to go and defeat the enemy there. And you play a wizard, a rogue, and a knight. And every time you die, you go back to the very beginning of the tower, but all the stuff you've unlocked still stays. So you kind of have, and it definitely has a Metroidvania map. Like you clear a room, you go. It even indicates if there's a secret there still. It's really fun. I beat it. I haven't 100% completed it. I still have a little bit left to do. It's really, really good. Music's interesting. But yeah, and you actually unlock more characters in the game too. This is another first title for this game. What's funny is that they call it the second chapter in the story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the first. It's their first game. So I guess what they're doing is doing a Star Wars thing where they're starting in the middle and then trying to like say, hey, look what we can do. And they're going to make a first one or whatever. But yeah, it's fun. Let's see. Been playing Mario Golf Super Rush just for fun. A game I've been playing a ton is Call of Duty Ghosts. Now,
Call of Duty Ghosts.
Now let me explain. My girlfriend, when we met, I was like, "Oh, you have an Xbox?" Yes, she has a footstool. That's the only thing she has, though.
Hey, you didn't have to go there.
Hey,
I'm glad you did.
That's the meme. But she doesn't play anything else. That's all she plays. It's Call of Duty Ghosts.
Interesting.
But she loves it. It's for her. It's her decompressor. She works in education. She works in higher education. Ooh. So very stressful job. Very just. She needs to decompress.
Shooting some bad guys online after a hard day's work.
Well, she doesn't even play online. She just plays bots. Which
really,
that's just what she does.
That's interesting.
I introduced her to the aliens portion called Extinction, like the horde mode. She loves it now. She loves it. We've been trying to actually build up and beat the first map and stuff. She loves playing it with me. It's just a way for us to bond and stuff. I've introduced her to some other games. She still isn't adventurous when it comes to games. I play almost anything really. So that's been really fun. I don't know. It's like, man, this is the Call of Duty. Like, I know Ghost wasn't the most popular. It wasn't the most successful, but man, this is the old Call of Duty I really enjoyed. Like, this is the Call of Duty that I'd rather play this than the new Call of Duty's coming out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Which is sad, but it just has an arcadey feel to it. It feels fun. It's fast. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's just fun. That's all I can say. It's just fun. That's what I wish Call of Duty would be again. It's just fun. But yeah, and then got some games coming out soon that I'm looking forward to.
We do.
Especially with Smash. A certain character got released. I'm excited about that too. That presentation was excellent. I know we can talk about that later in the news, but that was really cool. But yeah,
Great
man,
trailer.
just been playing the Switch like crazy. I also got Diablo 2 Resurrected on PS4. That's been fun. That is, man, I don't know how people played it back in the day, but the quality of life that you get with games now is great because the inventory management is crazy.
It's so small.
Movement is a little stiff, but what I will say is the impact though of the weapons and stuff, which I learned that the game was remade by Vicarious Visions, who did the Tony Hawk remake, did the Spyro remake. I mean, they are the remake kings. So if you need a remake out there, publishers, go to Vicarious Visions. They did a Blue
Point.
Yeah, Blue Point is great. I mean, they're now a Sony exclusive studio now. They're looking on a new IP from what I heard. But anyway, The
problem is Vicarious Visions is owned by Activision, so people aren't going to go to them.
Yeah, well, I will say, but what they do though is good. I mean,
aren't they working on D4 now? What did they get moved to?
I didn't mean that in like a negative regard.
No. I totally understand.
They're only going to work on Blizzard games.
It's kind of like, artists. Like, you can enjoy the art, but the artist, that's another discussion. But yeah, despite what Activision is, I think supporting those games gives more levity to that studio and will give them more projects. So that's why I support it. I know Blizzard's been on a spiral for a while now for obvious reasons. But we can still enjoy stuff that the developer makes.
Sure.
But yeah, that's all I've been really, I mean, I probably have a ton of other stuff I've been playing too. Been playing Breath of Fire 2, which is a SNES JRPG. That's pretty fun. Just going through that big catalog. I know another big announcement that happened recently with the Nintendo Direct. We get N64 games, which I'm looking forward to playing. Star Fox. I'm looking forward to playing Star Fox 64 like 500 times. like literally. That is like one of my favorite games ever. Like, I could play the game over and over and over again, never get tired of it. It's an arcadey shooter that's just fantastic. I actually love it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been really playing. So
is that what inspired your initial interest in the Air Force with Star Fox?
Actually, yes. That and Top Gun. Like, I always thought it'd be a pilot.
Classic,
but man, like, I that is another thing too that I really wish Nintendo would just like let someone make a new Star Fox game, man. Like,
they did. They made a new one.
I know they did, but it was. But okay, so I'm not a defender of Zero, but I will say, despite now the controls are the worst part. The other vehicles are a little weird, but overall it's a pretty game and it's fun. It's just if they had made the control scheme different, I think it would have been way better. And I mean, they're already talking about, I mean, I know that the developer wants to port it to the Switch. The only problem is that if they were to do it, would they still have the control scheme? Because that's not really going to be a possibility with the Switch.
Well, don't they have a N64 controller? Isn't there one for the Switch?
Yeah, they're actually coming out with one, a wireless one.
I thought there was already one. Is there a wired one?
There's probably a third party one.
But I thought there was one for Smash, right?
There is a GameCube one for Smash. Okay. Gotcha. But for N64 they haven't had it unless it's probably unofficial. But
I must just be thinking of the GameCube controller.
Yeah, GameCube. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope that they like. I would love to see a new Star Fox game, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just make it a good arcade shooter, on rail shooter. Maybe have a few all range mode levels where you get to fly around and shoot stuff. I mean, even if they went to exploration wise, like maybe take a little interest from No Man's Sky, like say, hey, you can travel around the Lilat system and do all that kind of stuff. I think it'd be fun if they could like make an arcade shooter but have a little exploration. I think that'd be really cool because it's space. You have anthropomorphized animals. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
So, but looking
Maybe
forward.
throw some hints of RPG in there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't know. I mean, Metroid's new game's coming out. You know,
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Maybe the day this goes live.
I mean, and just I wish they would just go back to their IPs that have been dormant for a while. I mean, Star Fox is. I think they're really cool. I mean, it has an interesting. I mean, the story is kind of basic, but other than that, I mean, it's really really fun, and the interaction with characters is really cool too. So I really wish they would explore that world more and just go back to it. And you know, I mean, I knew new IP's fun, but I mean, they have so many IPs that they could go back to that are just waiting to be reinvigorated. So, but yeah, that is all from me.
Sam, I need to let you know that I am very sorry to tell you that I have never played Star Fox.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. A lot of people haven't. But I will say, if you want to take the jump with the new Switch Online expansion pack, maybe try it out for a month or so or whatever, and give it a shot. It is an older game, obviously,
yeah,
but it is really fun. I will say the only gripes I have with the game are the underwater level and the tank levels. The tank levels are fun, but the mobility is a little weird. All the flying levels are great. They're fantastic. Love them. But other than that, it's great. So if you do get the chance to play it, let me know.
I will let you know.
What you thought. Also, real quick, I also played Banjo-Kazooie. 100% played that. Love that because my girlfriend had Xbox, so I could play it on there. I also beat Banjo. I haven't beat Banjo 2 yet, which, given how bloated it is with all the other stuff, I still think it's a good game. If they had toned it down a little bit, maybe. What's interesting about that is that it is coming for the Nintendo 64 library, which is still owned by Microsoft. So I'm curious to why. I guess they're allowing Nintendo to have it on their system. If it is the N64, it's probably because the N64 version, it's not the updated version. That's probably why they're allowed to do it. So, but anyway,
I mean, I think Microsoft has kind of been playing nice with Nintendo for a little while now.
Yeah, for sure.
They've been putting Ori on the Switch, for example.
Yeah, so, definitely.
I don't know that for that in particular for sure, but you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll play it again. I'll play it for the 15,000th time. So yeah.
Very nice. Hey, Garrett.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, dude?
A fair amount here and there, like not much of any of them, but collectively,
is it a fair amount or is it not much?
So I have played a fair amount of games, but I have not played those fair amount of games very much.
So it's a fair amount of, but not very much.
Yes, I've played many games, but not much time has been spent in any of them. I've like dipped my toe in all of them. That's it.
We're on the same page now.
Yeah. First and foremost, Deathloop. Probably played collectively 4 hours in that. Captured gameplay for the COG review. I did not review it. I just captured gameplay for it, and I think I may have done the video like review, like just edited the video. I can't remember, but I think I did. But I recognize how cool that game is. I've just barely scratched the surface, so I'm not like head over heels in love with it like most people who have reviewed it or played it all the way through have. But I immediately recognized how unique and interesting it was. Big fan of the art design. Gameplay, even on PS5, feels outstanding on controller. I mean, it helps that it runs to 60 FPS, but even the DualSense features really contribute to how well it feels on controller. All the weapons feel super powerful. It's fun to shoot at people. It's fun to be stealthy. Fun to go in guns blazing. And my only like initial turnoff with the game was that it seems like once you kind of unlock the actual game, like most of the tutorial, there's a lot of side stuff you can kind of pick up along the way. And there is so much reading in the game that, and I'm not like against reading. I enjoy reading, but when I play a video game, the last thing I want to do is read. Like I'm playing a video game to have like an interactive, like escape to a different world and have an experience. I want to like read a book in a video game.
Garrett, reading follows you anywhere you go.
And Deathloop, man, had so much reading initially to the point where I was just pretty exhausted, like right out of the gate. But as soon as you get past that, it seems like you can just follow objective markers and read as little as possible and still complete objectives. And I know there's supposed to be a ton of creativity with how you can tackle certain objectives, even though it's pretty streamlined once you kind of figure out how to tackle each target in the game. You can still be pretty creative along the way with your arsenal of weapons, the abilities you unlock, and how you interact with different NPCs and whatnot. So it is probably the only, and I've tried so many roguelites at this point that I've never finished any of them. I try to jump back into Returnal, dude, and I still just can't get into that game. I don't know why. Like, it isn't really about I die and have to start over. Like, I can deal with that because, I mean, I've played like Souls games. It's not that different. They're not roguelites, but like you die and start over a lot in those games too. Just something about that loop, even when it is technically randomized, it's still too familiar for me to like really get into it. So Deathloop will probably, if I can get back into it, I'm so distracted by other games at this point that I want to get back to it. I've been putting it off for a while, but that may be the first I find to complete. And I think that's why too, is because it has roguelite elements, but it's so different that it isn't totally married to that traditional roguelite gameplay loop. So I've mostly really enjoyed it. So when I get back to that, I'm sure I'll have a good time. Canaan Bridge of Spirits, I've played about 3 hours of that. Super charming, as most people have said. It is gorgeous graphically. Art style is stunning. I mean, I know people say, obviously Ratchet and Clank is like, that's a Pixar movie brought to video games. It looks like a Pixar movie. Absolutely does, especially Rift Apart. But Canaan is right there with it, with just gorgeous, stunning animation. It's so beautiful. That and like I said, it's just an adorable game to play with all the characters you interact with. Surprisingly difficult combat. It's relatively simple, but I guess it's just the way the systems work and mechanically how it functions. It can be pretty tricky sometimes. But additionally, with what little I've played, the music is beautiful as well. Really love the music. It's straight out of a Disney movie. So I think you dig it, Jacob. If you're ever in the mood for like just a really old school style third person platformer, minimal puzzles, fun adventure game, highly recommend giving it a shot. It's only $40 too, so it's not like full price.
I'm gonna watch a trailer for it.
Yeah, it's really
I've
solid.
seen people talk about it, but I haven't really looked at anything.
Yeah. Because I didn't look. I mean, I knew of it and had seen like the initial reveal gameplay demo, whatever it was, or trailer back in the day, but that's all I'd really seen. So I kind of went into it relatively blind, and it's been really cool so far. So got that on my list. I played a lot of Halo Infinite. I've been in both flights now. Most recently, the Big Team Battle flight was, for the most part, outstanding. I definitely have some minor gripes, which I won't go into here, but it's not perfect, but it's mostly super fun. Like all the new equipment they've added to the game between the grapple shot, an item called the Repulsor is probably my favorite. I don't know. How much do you guys know about Infinite?
Not much.
No, I've only seen a little bit and heard it's fun. Heard it's really good.
It's definitely the most fun I've had with Halo since Halo 3. And that's not a knock against, I've liked elements of Reach 4 and 5, but none of them have really appealed to me the way Halo 2 and 3 did back in the day. And even Halo 1, honestly. That's why I still play a ton of Master Chief Collection when Zach can. That's like our game we'll play like 2 or 3 nights a week when we can make it happen, because it's still super fun. But Infinite's definitely the most fun I've had. It's the most... I think it's the most familiar Halo game, Infinite, or that 343's developed with, while also adding new additions that spice up the traditional format. And many of those elements have to do with some of the new equipment they've added, which I mentioned was the grapple shot and repulsor of several more they've added. But repulsor is cool. It's like a sort of like I don't know if gravity is the right term, but it's like this force of wind, basically, that when you activate it, it'll blast back anything in your path. Mm-hmm. So it's really fun if like a warthog is barreling towards you and you use this item and it just blasted back out of your path. It won't like tip it over, but it'll like keep it from running into you. Mm-hmm. You can also use it to do like a super jump onto higher ledges that you can't normally reach. So you can like blast it off the ground and leap at the same time.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like the new crouch jump. So you can like launch yourself into the air like that.
Yeah.
You can also really cool. use it. I did a little highlight video for COG of like my best moments in Big Team Battle, but there's one moment where this one player his health was super low, and I repulsed him, and he flew against a wall, and when he hit the wall, it killed him on impact. So that was pretty cool. It's also it can also repel certain power weapons. Like if you time it right now, this is obviously extremely skill based and a lot of luck. But if a tank shoots a missile at you, if you time it right, you can repulse that missile back at the tank. But it's like a fraction of a second in the timing, so you got to like nail your timing. But people have experimented with bots where they'll like shoot this new weapon called a skewer, which is like a big spike you can shoot. It's like a new power weapon where they'll shoot it at a grav lift and it'll fly off a grav lift and come towards them, and they repulse it and it'll fly towards an enemy player like lightning speed and kill them. So that's what's beautiful about the Halo sandbox through every game that's ever existed, minus really 4 and 5 because 343 made some mistakes in those. But that's what's always been beautiful about Halo multiplayer, is that anything insane can happen at any moment because it's so physics based. So that item's really cool. I've had a lot of fun with that. And the grapple hook's sick too, because it's also a very versatile piece of equipment. So many games have had grapple hooks, obviously, a lot of shooters especially in recent years. But this is probably the most fun I've had. And I'm a little biased, I'm a big Halo fan, but it's insane to have a grapple hook that can not only like propel you across the map and onto cliffs and get you around the map faster, but you can use it for everything else. You can use it to grapple onto an enemy vehicle that's passing by and hijack it by grappling on and zipping toward it and ripping the driver out. Mm-hmm. You can do that. You can use it to grapple weapons off the ground from afar. You can use it, for example, I did this in the video too, where like an enemy flag, if you're playing Capture the Flag, is like in the middle of the battlefield. You can grapple it from afar and it'll zip towards you and you can grab it and take off with it.
That's cool.
So also a lot of cool stuff happens with that. So some really fun new weapons they've added, and they haven't even shown off everything in the game yet. This is still just 2 flights. So what little I've played of Halo Infinite, especially that new equipment, has been super fun. So love that. Very excited for Infinite.
Are you
definitely
playing on
some
PC?
stuff they gotta, yeah, PC. It runs beautifully on PC too. It looks terrible. I gotta be honest, it looks so bad on PC to me. That's probably a little harsh. It doesn't look like old. It just doesn't look really, really good. I played on ultra settings, 2160p, maintained about 80 to 90 frames, and it looks bad. Like it just doesn't look good. It's like the lighting's bad, the textures are bad, and I'm assuming it's because it's not fully optimized. It's not technically finished. I mean, they still have till December to finalize stuff, but I got to imagine if it doesn't look gorgeous now, like a few months out, like what can they really do to make it look any better? But maybe I'm like in the minority there, but on PC, I really don't think it looks very good. Now, I've heard on Series X it looks beautiful, but doesn't run as well as it does on PC, which is like this weird medium they got to meet. Not to mention it's coming to Xbox One, original OG Xbox One as well. Mm-hmm. So obviously 343 has a lot to tackle between now and December to fully optimize it and make it really function well on all platforms. But
do they delay it again?
I certainly hope not. I mean, overall, my experience in both flights has been really, really good. So I wish they would just release it tomorrow. And just at this point, every other 343 Halo minus 4, like 5 especially, came out, and the community basically helped refine the game over a period of months and even years. Because I think even 343 didn't know exactly what they wanted to do with Halo 5. So Infinite, they seem to have a lot more confidence, which is really reassuring to know that, like, well, they know what they're doing. They're very confident in what they're doing. And for the most part, it seems like the broader Halo community is pretty satisfied with it. So I have a lot of confidence in Infinite. It's not perfect yet. No game really is ever perfect, but as a longtime Halo fan, I have high expectations for Halo, and I hope for the best. So I'm excited to play it in December when it comes out.
That's awesome, man.
I will be jumping into Back 4 Blood for COG and just to play for fun, because the beta I played a few months ago was super fun. Not much to say on that other than I just really enjoyed the just slaying zombies with really cool fun weapons and like really beautiful, surprisingly gorgeous weapon animations in that game. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if you guys are a fan of like minor details in games like I am, but even like things like weapon animations, reload animations, the way they fire and sound, like it really appeal to me in shooters.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Back 4 Blood's like pretty top tier, surprisingly. That's like the last thing I expected out of that game. So
Garrett, that's
really
one
fun.
of the biggest reasons why I love Destiny so much. All the exotic weapons. They were all so unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally, I get that. I played the Battlefield. I'll probably play a little more between now and the 10th, but the Battlefield 2042 beta, it is janky, man. Real janky. It's been pretty fun, but it's like glitches galore, dude. So not fun. I mean, that's what's weird is that I'm running everything at low settings and still looks better. This is what's crazy. I'm running everything at low settings, maintaining about 75, 80 frames, and it looks better than Halo Infinite does. And it has Halo Infinite has significantly, different engines, but it also has significantly less players, significantly smaller map sizes. I know I'm not a game developer, obviously. Like, a professional game developer could hear me say and be like, "You're an idiot, you know what you're talking about." And they're probably right. But then again, DICE develops 2042, and Frostbite is originally intended to be a shooter engine anyway. So it's made for that. So that it makes sense. And Slipspace is a new engine they're using for Infinite. Mm-hmm. So that they're technically still building that engine, I imagine, while also building a Halo game. So I understand that's totally different. Yeah. But anyway, that being said, even on low settings, 2042 looks pretty good, runs pretty well for me at least. Yeah. But there are glitches happening everywhere.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I guess my point was like that engine, Frostbite, is like that's one of the better shooter engines. It probably is the best in terms of visuals. Like, oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, visually it's stunning for sure. I mean, Star Wars Battlefront looks incredible. Yeah,
and I think Modern Warfare, not the last one, but the one before that, looked really good too.
Mm-hmm. Modern Warfare was developing Call of Duty's engine though. I can't remember the name of it. It's their own in-house engine, I think.
Yeah,
but it's not Frostbite though.
No.
But it'd be interesting if Call of Duty, shared their engine with other shooter developers. But I guess I don't have a reason to, because most developers that primarily develop shooters, their engines are phenomenal. So. It's only weird when like a developer has to use Frostbite to make something other than a shooter, and you hear the horror stories of like loopholes they have to jump through and things, the assets they have to create and everything. Yep. So,
but anyway, once you create them though, they're there. So
yeah. But it's been pretty cool. I mean, it has the chaos of Battlefield you come to expect and hope for. Really cool weather effects with like a tornado that'll wind up in the map. I watched a video today called Only in Battlefield 2042 where there's a rocket ship that takes off in the middle of the match. And this guy grapple hooked on top of the rocket ship and it took off and like basically flew him to space. and it didn't kill him or say he'd left the match, and he just like jumped off and parachuted back into the round.
That's how you secretly win.
See, that's what I love about video games, dude. I always hope that developers just let players do as long as it isn't game breaking, it doesn't allow someone to like really get an unfair advantage. Like obviously if you're up in space in a rocket, you can't really take advantage of that or kill anyone. So I hope they keep it in there, because like ridiculous stuff like that are reasons why video games are so cool. So aside from the glitches, it's been pretty cool. I think one of the coolest features is you can customize your weapons on the go in a round. So it isn't like, oh, I died, let me switch out my loadout and then jump back in. Like you can be hiding behind a rock and pull up like a little menu where you flip your gun up and you can like put on attachments in the middle of combat and then keep going, which is pretty cool. So I like that. That's awesome. And looks cool, sounds cool. Chaos is there. It just, as long as it's optimized and isn't full of glitches like it is currently when it launches supposedly in a month, then it'll be in good shape, I think. So I intend to play it. I think my two big competitive games this fall and winter will be Battlefield and Halo. So
I think those are going to be mine too, especially Battlefield. I'm very excited for Battlefield.
Mm-hmm. I'd like if maybe I'll talk to you and Preston about this later. I'd like if we could all pitch in with the addition of Zach to get him a next gen console, because with being a dad, a husband, new child on the way, busy with work, obviously it's hard for him to just justify, I'm going to buy a $500 next gen console. So like, I'd love if for Christmas, if not before Christmas, we could all potentially pitch in to help him get one.
Wait, an Xbox?
He wants an Xbox. I asked him, I was like, if you could choose between Series X and PS4, what do you want? He's like, I'm going to go with Xbox because I'm familiar with it. And I was like, oh.
How many footstools do you need?
I mean, if that's what he wants, I mean, by all means, sure. He's just going to miss out on like some killer PS5 exclusives, but to each their own. Anyway, but I would like that. The reason why is, one, because I just would like to do that for him, but secondly, because most next gen multiplayer shooters are crossplay, but some of them are only like next gen and PC, whereas last gen is like all by itself. Like Xbox One and PS4 players can play together, but they cannot play with PS5 at Series X and PC players. So he would be left out at Battlefield. Like we found that out a couple of days ago, and it was
really?
It was bummer news. So
what?
I'm like, all right, we got to fast track getting you a new console. So I'd like to get him a PC, but that's like, not only is that much harder because of the lack of GPUs and everything right now, but that's also 10 times more expensive. So
Yeah, right now it is.
We'll see. That's a side note, but I'd like to do that for him.
Can you find Xboxes right now?
I don't know.
Like, I haven't been keeping up with console restocks at all.
Me
like, I know
neither.
PS5s are still so hard to
We're
find.
so spoiled. We miraculously
It's all thanks
got
to
our
like
PS5s.
Carlos in our Discord. Shout out to Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos Press Skates.
Carlos is a hero.
He literally saved me. Like, I wasn't gonna be. I probably still wouldn't have a PS5 at this point if it wasn't for him. So thank you, sir. And he's my fellow One Piece watcher. Garrett, you need to watch One Piece. Dude.
What's One Piece?
It
Anime?
is the best anime. It's like one of those that are outrageously long.
It's crazy how long that thing has gone on. It's shaping up to be like the longest running like manga and anime right now.
Yes.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
What is it good?
So that's the beast we're talking about here.
I will say
I just started it.
I haven't I've only watched a little bit of it, but I've seen a lot of I subscribe to the Crunchyroll collections on collection clips on YouTube, and I've seen some of the newer season clips, and I'm like, this is pretty lit. Like this is like, I mean, it's obviously way like the brand new stuff, which would take forever to catch up on, but it's not too bad. It's got the art style is pretty unique. Like I gotta say, it's got a unique art style that I think would even rival like, you know, anything Toriyama does, like with Dragon Ball or anything he does. So you can like that artist, whoever that is, like very distinct art style, which is pretty interesting.
And it's about pirates.
Yeah.
Dude. Pirates are awesome.
And they do ridiculous things.
Yes, they do.
Jacob's always loved pirates.
I love pirates, man. Gary, you would love the show though. Like all the characters are awesome. Like
Nice.
it's also very funny. It's just goofy. It almost reminds me of a Saturday morning cartoon. Like it's that.
Yeah,
level of
it definitely
goofy.
has that vibe for sure.
Like it's like
Okay.
really goofy, but it's funny.
I just got through the tower. What do they call it in anime? Tower arc and Hunter.
Oh,
you're still
Hunter,
going?
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So good.
I just got to the part where they got that message from. Is it Gon?
Yeah,
That's
Wait.
his name.
that's the main character.
Gon. Gon.
Yeah,
Gone.
gone. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they got that message from his dad, like, if you want to find me, like, blah, 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 blah. So he and I can never pronounce her names, Kilipka or something, his buddy,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
assassin. They're like, they just set
Kepka?
out on their journey to go find him.
Is it Kepka?
It's
Something like that.
it's a weird pronunciation.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it'll probably be another 20 years before I finish that show because I'll watch a couple episodes like once every few weeks. So
Yeah.
it isn't that I don't like the show. I just get busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
And I've recently been caught up in other shows. Like I've been watching Squid Game. Really enjoyed that.
I've heard that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, Squid Game's cool. It's really good.
Is it
I've
like
liked
a
it
battle
lot.
royale sort of kind of thing?
Kind of,
Or-
yeah. It's kind of like
okay.
that. It's kind of like
All right.
Battle Royale meets Hunger Games, but the story is like apparently the writer had been rejected for 10 years with the script, and people have claimed like, oh, I ripped off all these other IP, but probably not the case. I don't know the full story, but it's not been anywhere near like those other properties that's made me even really think about them. I just think it's a really cool idea. It's a very sad and depressing show, but there's a lot of like comedic moments and like some lightheartedness to it as well, mixed in with a lot of brutal violence and really sad, real world, dramatic and dark issues that a lot of the characters face. So really, really compelling. Enjoyed it. I'm nearing the end finally. Miraculously, I've not had anything spoiled for me, so I got to finish that.
Nice.
Also watching Midnight Mass. You guys see Midnight Mass?
Mm-mm.
So it is the new show from Mike Flanagan. He is most known for Haunting of Hill House. I think he wrote and directed most of
Okay.
that. Also did Haunting of Bly Manor, which wasn't as good, but pretty entertaining. He did Doctor Sleep. He's done a bunch of other stuff, but he's most known for that stuff recently. And I hadn't even heard of Midnight Mass. So I went into it totally blind. I didn't even realize it was Mike Flanagan who it was the series creator until I was like into the first episode, but was immediately hooked to that show. It's only 7 episodes. You can get through them super quick. Also incredibly compelling. I don't even want to spoil it for you. It's just Midnight Mass. Check it out. One thing I will say is that like it is, it's not overtly like bashing Christianity or like uplifting other religions, but it just heavily explore Catholicism and the Bible, and is Islam, and like it really explores those subjects and not really pits them against each other, but like asks hard questions, addresses things that maybe certain groups of people may not fully understand or fully had not heard before, and it could be a lot of confusing to certain viewers, I think, and on both ends of the fence. But that being said, like separating myself from the religious side of it, I wasn't offended by any of it at all. I was actually, like I said, I was totally captivated by all of it. It's just they do a really interesting exploration of Catholicism and religion in general, especially in the United States, and like what that can do to certain people. But there's like a supernatural twist to all of it that's like pretty interesting and pretty cool. So really, it's a pretty heavy show. I got to be honest. There's not much comedy. It's very dark and dramatic. But if you're into dark and dramatic, I've always been into that kind of stuff. For some reason, it's a very compelling show. So it really gets you thinking about a lot too, which is cool.
Where can you find that?
That's on Netflix. Okay. So that and Squid Game both. So
yeah,
the only other thing I was going to say about games, by the way, is like I really want to play Adam Wake Remastered and Diablo 2 with you guys. So
yeah, I want to play Diablo with you guys. I wouldn't play it by myself, but I'll play with you guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't
relive
play by
those
myself
memories.
Totally, yeah. Like, what's the point of playing by ourselves? It'd be boring.
Is D2 cross-platform?
I would assume so, because I know D3 eventually became cross-platform, didn't it?
I really don't.
Or am I out of my mind?
I assume that. Let's look. D2 cross.
Can you do parties of 4 in D2? Or is it only parties of 3?
Well, it depends. I know that, like, I think on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC can have quite a bit, I believe. But I'm not too sure.
All right, I can't find it.
The world may never know.
I think it has cross progression.
Okay.
That's lame.
It is lame.
Sorry, Sam.
No, it's fine.
Jacob, what have you been playing? I've been talking too long.
Oh God, I forgot we were even on that still. So I really haven't been playing too much variety of games, but I got to tell you, I probably, so from about the end of June until probably like late August, maybe even into September a little bit, I probably went the most hardcore in WoW than I ever have. And not only did I just play the game all the time, but I like did something that was competitive. Like I joined a dungeon team. Like that. So there's this like in-game, there's like a couple in-game pillars of WoW. And one of the, so there's raiding, which gives you the best gear in the game if you do the highest difficulty. Then there's PvP, which is like, arenas where you fight other teams of people, PvP. And then there's battlegrounds too. So there's that pillar. And then there's like mythic dungeons, which are like the hardest difficulty of dungeons. And basically you get these keystones, and it's almost like Diablo in a sense where like the higher that you increase the difficulty, the enemies will have more health, they'll do more damage. They'll start to have like affixes where they'll like just the dungeon itself will do interesting things to make it harder for you. And like there's always these different modifiers every week. So basically I had a team of 5 people, including myself, that would every week we would, meet at certain times. We would, run dungeons, and we would just try to optimize because they're all timed as well. So the idea is to get the best time so that you rank up your key to do it on a higher level, basically. So our goal was to get our rating as high as we possibly could, and also time mythic 20s, which is like, so your keys start at, so there's mythic 0, and then it goes to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to it infinitely goes up as high as you can go. But, right around probably the 15 to 20 range, it's kind of challenging. And then like past 20, it's like, whoa, like you have to, interrupt all these abilities that the enemies are casting. Like every single mob that you pull or pack of enemies that you pull, like not even counting the bosses, like the bosses are tanks themselves, but every enemy in that dungeon, in this instance dungeon that just your team of 5 is in, like you have to think about like how you pull these enemies and how you kill them. And sometimes you have to kill them in a certain order or they're going to do too much damage to your tank and it's going to wipe the group. And that's lost time. So you might not even time the key at that point. But if you time the key, that ranks it up at least 1. If you time it like with plenty of time left, it'll go up by 2. And if you don't complete the dungeon in time, it'll decrease in value. And you don't always get to like sometimes you might run one dungeon and you'll complete it and you'll have to it's randomly generated, like you'll get a different dungeon, but it'll be a higher rank. So basically that's what I did for a few months is, in my free time I was playing with these guys. A couple of them were in my guild. So that's how we kind of started the team. And then we just started like playing with random people. And then eventually we, met people through the group finders who we would just invite pugs. And we found 2 other people that were, wanted to do the same things that we did. So we all just kind of made a little team and started pushing a little bit. But we got up to 1 time 23 key, which we're really proud of. It was one of the easier dungeons, but once you get up to the 20s, it's really tough, and you really got to be on top of your stuff. But I don't want to sound like 23s are hard, because there's people doing like 30s. So I don't want to toot my horn too much over here, but it was really satisfying to sort of like do something that was difficult in the game, and then sort of like kind of see how high we could climb that ladder, even though it wasn't like to earn anything necessarily. Although once you time 20 keys, you get teleports to the dungeons. So that's kind of like an incentive to, try to time 20 so you can just teleport to the dungeons if you ever want to do them again. So, and then if you complete 10 keys every week, you get like 3 choices of the highest level of gear in the game. So it was, at the very least, if the dungeons were too hard that week because of the random affixes that would appear that week, because every week they change. Like some weeks would be like push weeks, like where you would really play a lot to push your keys really high because all the modifiers were really easy. But then there would be other weeks where there's just like really tough, and like you can barely do 15s. Like because we didn't have enough gear at the time, and like all these enemies are hitting so much harder than they normally would, and all their abilities are just killing us instantly. It's a wild ride, but I don't know. I really enjoyed doing that with these guys, but our tank quit, about 3 weeks ago, or he didn't quit, but he's just taking a break. And then another guy on our team was going to have a baby. So we kind of just stopped for a little bit. So since then I haven't really been playing too much WoW. That was really what was keeping me in that loop for a little bit. Cause I play with my guild a little bit, we do some raids sometimes, but, people just kind of fall in and out, no one's ever really playing the game all the time. So it's kind of hard for me to keep playing the game if like everyone else in the guild is like not playing. So I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm just going to go do something else. I have a lot of games that I could go play. One of which I am playing right now, which is Tales of Arise.
Nice.
And this game is just what I need right now. So it's a definitely an anime art style. So basically the basic synopsis is these people came from the sky and they landed on this land that the game takes place on, and they just basically enslaved the people that were living on this planet or piece of land or whatever. And they split it into 5 zones, and basically they make all these people just do slave work so that they can harvest their energy to do magic, basically, or power. Like it's called astral energy, but they use it to power things, and also they use it for their like abilities. So it's like valuable to them. But I've gotten through about, if you were to split the game into 5 parts, because there's 5 zones, I'm in the middle of the 3rd one. So, so each zone has a ruler basically, and they're like the end boss of each level. And I've gotten through 2 of them. Like you start out in one of them, you're a slave, and you kind of work to the point where you're not a slave anymore. You're a free man. And without spoiling too much, but probably the best part about the game is the characters themselves. Once you get to the second zone, you really start to open up. You get a couple more people on your party because you only start out with 2. Like it's just you and the girl protagonist. I guess they're both counter protagonists, and you can play as any character that you want at any time, which is great. I think there's a total of 6 of them once you get far enough in the game. And I think the party's only 4 people though. I don't know for sure because I only have 4 right now. But the combat itself is pretty fun. It's a little, I guess it's a little arcadey in a sense. Like it kind of takes place in this like little circular zone. I'm not sure if all the Tales games are like this because I've never played a Tales game, so this is just all off the cusp, like fresh experience. But the combat is very flashy. You sort of have like your triangle. I'm playing on PS5, so triangle, square, X all do different abilities, and you can combo them. Circle is to jump, and then there's like you have regular slashes with the bumpers, but it's basically just hitting certain buttons at certain times, doing combos, and you can play as all your other characters. You can just switch it anytime you want. There's plenty of, you can use items during battle. It's just like I think the game's weakest point is probably its enemy variety. I mean, there's variety in the enemies, but I don't know if any of them are necessarily exciting. But a good strong point of the game is the story. I think the characters in the story are really, really good. And I think anyone would like it. I mean, it's a simple little, you go on a journey to, not be a slave anymore, and you try to take down all the lords. That's basically what the story is. And you got cool people with you along the way to go do it. All the environments look really great. There's, snowy forests. There's, hot deserts, lush forests. Those are just the 3 that I've been to so far. So I'm sure the next 2 are going to be much different as well. But that's really the only 2 things that I've been playing. That's about it.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah.
I will say I haven't touched Mass Effect, Garrett. I haven't gone back to it.
I
just stopped in the middle of 2.
I stopped in the middle of 3.
Well, yeah, but you played it before.
Mm-hmm.
I just stopped. I need to get back into it.
2 is awesome, man. Yeah, I loved it even more replaying it after all these years.
I was enjoying it. I was feeling really weird at the time. Like I needed to take a break, but I took too long of a break.
Yeah. So I'm in this
And now I'm
weird
just
place,
out of it.
dude. Like I get it because I'm usually not like this. I feel like I'm Preston right now because I have so many games I want to play, or like so many I could play. But for some reason, I don't know why, I've never played Alan Wake. I just know about its history and like the love people have for that game. It's also October, and I want a spooky experience, and I just really want to buy Alan Wake and just start playing it. Even though I have Deathloop, I have Canaan, I have the Battlefield beta, I have Back for Blood, I have Far Cry. I can play any of those, but I'm just not in the mood really because they're all kind of similar. They're all shooters basically. Mine is Canaan.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in the mood for like a kind of eerie, narrative-driven action game like Alan Wake. Not a ton of action, but like that kind of spooky vibe is really appealing to me right now. So I understand why, like you can be in the middle of Mass Effect, which is really awesome, but want to jump to something else at the same time. So it's just whatever your mood is, whatever mood you're in, it can swing with video games. So I'm usually pretty aware of the mood I'm in. I'm often in like a competitive shooter mood. Like I've always been drawn to competitive shooters, but other days I'll be in an RPG mood. Some other days I'll just be in like a purely narrative driven type mood. But right now I'm feeling like a lower key, less intensive narrative, spooky experience personally.
Yeah. And probably what like drives that want to play shooters is that you probably you're probably pretty good at them, right? Like
I'm fairly decent.
I'm
I'm by no means an expert, but I can definitely hold my own usually. So
well, what I was kind of like linking to was like I enjoy playing like my character on WoW because I'm really good at playing.
You still playing Sylve?
Yeah, still
Nice.
playing my rogue.
I'll never forget Sylve, dude.
Like I've just gotten to the point where I'm like I just don't think about anything I do. I just do it. I just do everything, and I'm like my character is so optimized that I could barely do anything else to like gear him more. It's ridiculous. But once you get to that point, you're like, is there anything left for me to do, or should I just stop playing? That's kind of where I got.
Yeah.
Without like transferring servers and like playing with even more hardcore people. But at that point, do you want to like put that much effort into the game? And that's kind of where I drew the line. But yeah.
Yeah.
When does Alan Wake come out?
I think it's out already, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
So I think it just came out a few days ago or last week or something.
Oh.
I mean, I could blend both worlds and just play Hunt Showdown. It's a competitive shooter and it's also horrific. So, but I haven't played Hunt in a while. They have like bow and arrows now, and new legendary hunters, new weapons. They have a third map that I have played. Third map's pretty good.
We talked about playing a while back, and then we never did.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
You have it installed?
Let me look. I probably do.
Because
I installed it last time we talked about it.
Yeah, I would play it anytime you're down to like just get a couple rounds in and experience it.
I have it downloaded and it's ready to play.
Dude, what are we doing?
We're doing a podcast, apparently.
You have to go to bed right after this?
No, but I'm gonna eat.
I gotta eat too.
And I don't know how late I'll be up, but maybe.
Let me know if you want to do like a round or two before you go to bed. Let me know.
Okay.
Sam, what kind of gaming mood are you in right now? Do you know?
I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Like right now, I'm kind of in an RPG kind of kick. But I'm also in a Metroidvania kick. So I mean,
got good news for you.
Yeah, I know. I know. Tomorrow's gonna be great. I don't know, man. Like it changes from time to time. What's really getting me though is like for some reason I'm really drawn to aesthetics lately. Like I was mentioning that game Eastward I played. That's the reason why I got that game, because of the aesthetics and the art style. So I don't know, man. It's just if I see a game that looks pretty or that's beautiful pixel art, I'm gonna play it. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a platform, it's an RPG. I mean, I like to get into it. So it's I don't know, man. It's really whatever. It's kind of like, you know, looking at movie posters or comic book covers. Like, ooh, I like that. Let me try that. You know. So that's what's really been getting me. But really, it's just a lot of it's nostalgia too. Like I'm looking forward to Mario Party Superstars later this month. Man, I can't wait to just play some classic Mario Party and just lose friendships. I mean, I don't know if I should play with my girlfriend because
that's dangerous.
She's very competitive. I'm gonna tell you.
I mean, honestly, that's probably a pretty healthy way to test your patience with one another.
Exactly. You know, I mean, she beat me at Super Mario Party, which that was all luck.
That she beat you at Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, I've already admitted defeat on that. I'm not great at Call of Duty anyway, so I don't mind her beating me there. The only thing that really bothered me is that she's beat me at tennis. That's the one thing that's really bothered me.
Why does it bother you?
Because I'm not saying I'm really good at tennis. It's just I loved playing tennis a lot back in the day. And now we hadn't played in like a month or so because of work and everything. But I just love playing it, and like I don't know, like I don't like losing at tennis. So, and then we played board games together. So yeah, we're pretty competitive with each other, which I think is pretty good. She was an athlete growing up. She played soccer quite a bit. She's actually from Dallas, Georgia. I don't know if y'all know where that is.
I was there today.
Really? That's crazy. She's from there. She played soccer all through her life pretty much. And I saw her play one time, and I was like, "Yeah, I can tell you still got it." So, you know, but yeah, game mood. I mean, it just depends. Like right now, I'm really into like I don't know, like I've been wanting to do. I think I mentioned this before, but I wanted to been playing a Pokemon Nuzlocke. It's the hard mode Pokemon. Yeah. I've yet to finish it. I just keep messing up. I keep swiping. It's more of just I need to look up abilities and know how the synergy works with teams and stuff. So, but that's gonna be down the road. I might do that with the new remakes of Platinum. I mean, with Pearl and Diamond. I know they're not gonna
Pearl and
Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. Yeah.
Those are some interesting names.
They are. I mean, I know they don't look the greatest, but I really just want to play another Pokemon game. I never really.
Oh, I'm playing them because I've never played that gen before.
I played Platinum when it came out. But I think I am going to go for Nuzlocke on this. Like, I'm not even going to do a run through. I'm just going to do a Nuzlocke right off the bat. Just going to play it. And then, but yeah,
I mean, otherwise it's just going to be baby mode.
It really is. I just, what I want to know is, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I don't know if the abilities are in this game though, because it had I got a very Let's Go vibe from it. You know, like, but apparently they're faithful remakes. So hopefully all abilities, all stats, you know, all that stuff's going to be there, but who knows?
I saw their little video for like flying and surfing.
Yeah,
and
which
that.
I think HMs are no longer going to, like, HMs are like not going to be set to moves. There's going to be Pokemon you call, which I think is great, but you're still blocked if you don't have the HM though. So you don't have to put on a Pokemon, but you're still
doesn't take up a move slot.
No, it doesn't take up a move slot. It's just an item you have to get in order to progress.
I prefer, by the way.
Honestly,
I that.
Because I think now, I mean, like, the only useful HM ever was Surf. I mean, that was just a really good special water move. And then Strength, maybe.
Fly was okay.
Fly was all right. It's just a 2-turn move. It's just, unless you have a way to do on turn one, it really isn't that great. Plus, the accuracy. It's funny. There's a thing in the Pokemon community. If it's 95%, it's not going to hit. because unless it's 100% guaranteed, there's no way to, like, it's too risky to even do that. So that's why. But yeah, I'm in the mood for that. I don't know, man. I'm really in this nostalgic mood right now. So
I feel you. So since we're on the topic of the Switch, we were talking before the show. You don't think you're going to get the OLED version?
No, I mean, it's just an incremental upgrade. It's not going to have any more graphical power. It's got a nicer looking screen.
It's just a screen, right?
Really, for mobile. I mean, I think it's supposed to be processed better on docked mode, but I'm not sure. Yep. The one thing I will say is I would like to get the new dock because it has an integrated Ethernet port, which is fantastic. Because right now I have the old one with the dongle, which is not bad, but it's still
the dongle.
It's still like I don't know. Like, I just think having a direct connection to it's great, and plus I think the quality of the build of the docks, this new dock's gonna be better. It just looks cleaner too. It's not this just plastic black brick, you know, with the plastic hinge and everything. So
I hate to say it, Sam, but I don't even know if an Ethernet connection is going to help Nintendo's online services.
No, it's not. I fully admit that it's an unpowered system and everything, but really it's all I have along with my PS4. So I'm happy that I get to play something. But I understand.
It's a great system.
Oh, it's really great. It's just, you know, I just think that Nintendo might need to just rethink their strategy with consoles in the future. I think they're doing exactly what they want, which I think is great. I think that's fine. It's just maybe, like, you don't have to be on par with like a PC or like PlayStation or Xbox, but I don't know, maybe at least have 60. I mean, most of them go at 60 frames. Most of their first party games, except for, you know, Breath of the Wild. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think that I'm really gonna get the OLED, honestly. Until the 4K comes out, which is still a rumor. It's not even guaranteed. I just don't think there's any need to really upgrade to it, to be honest. Yeah,
Preston keeps talking about the Switch Pro, you know, like he still thinks it's a thing.
There's also rumors that it's just gonna be a new console. Like, it's not gonna be the Switch anymore. It's gonna be a new console, which, I mean, it's been 3.5 years.
Switch U.
Switch U. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, we don't know. We'll just see.
The switcheroo. Jeez.
I don't think they're that clever. I honestly don't. It'll probably be like the new Switch or the Switch XL or the Switch. I think Switch Ultra would be kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Anything with Ultra or a Mega or
Switch
Super.
X. Swiss.
Or the
Switch XL.
The Super Switch XL. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I know some people are going to get it because some people just love buying consoles. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know anybody who loves just buying consoles, special editions over and over again.
Preston. Man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I love him though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on. Guys, the Super Mario movie, the cast has been announced.
Yep.
And it's a very interesting group of individuals. And I want to know our thoughts overall.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know, man. Like with the breadth of voice actors out there, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're going for a more safer route with Hollywood actors so that it can get a big, because I mean, people know who Mario is. I mean, the general public know who Mario is, but
Yeah.
no one, but unless you're in the gaming community, you really don't know that much about Mario. So I don't know. I just feel like they're doing this to attract not the gaming crowd, but the public, the general public at this point.
I think you're right.
You got Chris Pratt. I mean, he's actually my favorite actor, to be honest.
Oh.
He's fantastic. I think he's great. Can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But yeah,
did you see, I wanted to ask you real quick. Did you see the Tomorrow War?
I have not. I kind of want to see that. To be honest, I'm very curious.
Yeah, I've seen the first half. I don't know why I haven't gone back to finish it. I didn't love the first half of it, but then I realized sort of like the campiness was maybe not entirely intentional, but I almost found it endearing.
Yeah.
And the action and visual effects were surprisingly really strong. So I want to go back and finish it. But I like Chris Pratt a lot too. So I was curious if you've seen that.
I'm just not sure about him being Mario, if he's going to go with the full Italian accent. I mean, so Charles Martinet, who's been the voice of Mario since 1995, he's not going to be, I mean, for him to do an entire movie, that'd be pretty exhausting. Yeah. But he is going to make some cameos here and there, do some voices, because he's done other voices too of other characters throughout the Nintendo's history. I just don't know how it's going to just translate. I mean, like the actress playing Princess Peach is good. I don't know if you've seen Queen's Gambit, but that's the same actress who played her. Mm-hmm. Jack Black as Bowser, I think, is actually really good. I think it's a really, really good choice for that. He's going to be very bombastic and just he's going to bring it. He always brings it with his performances. So I'm really excited just to see him. Charlie Day is Luigi. I've seen some of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So I'm expecting a lot of comedy, a lot of just gaffes and goofs, because Luigi's a goofy guy. I mean, he's the little brother that, you know, is just timid and stuff. So I can definitely see that. But I don't know. I don't understand why Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong are in this movie. I guess they're trying to bridge those two worlds because, again, you know, I mean,
maybe a Donkey Kong movie. I
mean, Donkey Kong. So there is technically two different Donkey Kongs. There's Donkey Kong Country, which is its own universe, and there's Donkey Kong from Nintendo. So there really is two different Donkey Kongs if you think about it. Because Cranky Kong, okay, if I'm not mistaken from my history, I believe the original Donkey Kong, that is Cranky, and the Donkey Kong Jr. is actually Donkey Kong now. If that makes any sense. I could be wrong. I don't know. So there's always some connection with that. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad, which he's a fantastic comedian, but I don't know. Just Toad's voice is so distinct. Like it has
I think that's kind of. I kind of like the more you're talking about this, the more, because at first I also was like, what are they thinking with these people? And then I'm like, well, maybe they're just doing a whole unique take and spin on Mario. Or like, obviously, Keegan-Michael Key doing Toad is, when you think about it, is actually kind of hilarious.
It's just he's gonna have a much deeper voice than he normally does.
That's why I think it's kind of funny thinking about it. It's
like small character.
No, I actually think he can sound like Toad.
So I was actually doing a little research about this. So another character that's being voiced is Sebastian Maniscalco. I think he's a comedian. He's playing Spike, which I looked up Spike. Apparently, Spike is a foreman from a game called Wrecking Crew, where Mario and Luigi starred. Yeah. It's a game where they like destroy buildings and stuff. There's actually a stage in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate where it has the same. I think it's also in Brawl. So I'm wondering if
what game is he in? Sorry,
Wrecking Crew. It came out I think in 1989 or something, 1987. But that's where he's from, and I'm wondering if they're going to be basically doing where Mario and Luigi have different jobs, and then eventually they have to rescue Peach. I don't know. That's the thing is, what is the story? Are we going to go the classic, Bowser's stolen Peach's Peach?
I bet that's what it is.
I mean, why not? I mean,
how does he steal her?
How does he steal her? Yeah. Because I've seen a lot. I really love it to where when they have games where Bowser is not necessarily the main villain, but actually works with Mario and stuff, or at least like recently been watching the Game Grumps play Super Mario RPG. Fantastic game, by the way, really good. And Bowser is not even the main villain; he's actually part of the party you play in. So I always loved seeing those games. But I guess for the first Mario, well, it's not the first Mario movie. We all know there one exists that none of us
talk about that one.
No, we don't talk about that one. But as the first like legit like Mario movie based off the actual video games, I guess you have to play it safe. And then if this one does well, then maybe you can get a little weird. You can go with more obscure characters and stuff. But
right.
I'm just curious to what they're going to do. And with, well, what gives me a lot of hope is Charles Martinet is going to be on this movie. So maybe he'll be able to coach Chris and Charlie about how they should approach it. And then obviously the actor makes his own choice when it comes to the acting portion. So we'll just see. But who knows? I mean, this could be the start of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. I mean, imagine a alien-like Metroid movie. That's slight horror. Imagine a fantastic fantasy adventure of Zelda. I mean,
who would play Link?
Man, who knows?
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Who knows? Orlando Bloom, he played Legolas.
There we go.
I don't know. Maybe some younger actor. I have no idea. Maybe what's his name? The guy who plays Jon Snow.
What's his name? It's I don't know anyone's name.
Well, I mean, you could get
I'm the absolute worst at names.
Let's get Henry Cavill to play Link. He's already Geralt, so that wouldn't make much sense.
That's coming out soon.
You know, maybe Henry Cavill can play Ganondorf. Now that, I think that would be a pretty good idea.
I think he could. He actually plays pretty good villains. So
yeah, I could see him as Ganondorf. Just they have to give him a really big nose.
I could see it.
I bet he would do it, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, this could be the start of a cinematic universe for Nintendo. Because, I mean, they already have the market on, nostalgic video games, merchandising. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Nobody does. I'm
going to hold out hope for the Mario movie. I know people are pretty upset with some of the casting, but I think they're doing something pretty wacky with it intentionally. And I'm going to hold out hope that it's a good time. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll be watching it. If it doesn't just bomb.
Let's
I really doubt it'll bomb. I think it'll be wildly successful.
No. I mean, as much as the Minions movies aggravate me to the core, the animations they have pretty decent animation. I think. I know they're not on par with Pixar or other animation studios, but they do a decent job. So we'll just see how they get animated. As long as I think the key to this movie is as long as the voicing choices are not too crazy and the animation and story is somewhat relatable, or not relatable, but it makes sense, then I think we're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I have high hopes for this. I think it's going to be a good time. Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's all the stories we have. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we just jump into questions?
I don't think so. I think we should just dive in, man. Just go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, is our goal to answer all of these questions?
If there's a lot, I haven't even looked. If there's a ton of them, we'll just get through at least a chunk, and we'll do another episode next week and get to the rest. I can make next week happen for sure.
I can too. It's got to be the weekend though.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. First question. I'll do the honors of starting us. It is Mr. G Virus 20. I'm probably saying that wrong. But he asks, "Hello, gentlemen from sunny Scotland. I wanted to ask..." Wait, I think he's saying he is from Scotland. I thought he was saying we were in Scotland. It's July 28th.
Got it. All right, we're good, man. Oh, man, that long ago. Wow.
Yeah.
And he's saying, I wanted to ask if any of you have tried Death's Door yet. It's a tremendous game, and if you like games such as Dark Souls or Diablo, it will be right up your alley.
Oh, well, that elevator pitch alone has me interested for sure. I've not seen anything
this in
from
my
it.
search.
I haven't even heard of it.
I actually know about this game. I haven't played it myself, but essentially it's it is sort of Dark Souls-ish. It is really hard from what I can tell, It has a Diablo feel to it because it is isometric. I think you play a bird, if I'm not mistaken, like a raven character.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and you essentially, I don't know what the story is, but essentially you go through and you fight monsters and stuff like that. But I've seen gameplay of it. It looks pretty interesting. I thought about getting it myself, but I'm not really into playing difficult games right now. So I don't know. I might watch a gameplay walkthrough, but it looks pretty good from what I can tell.
I saw Soda Popping playing this. He's a Twitch streamer. Because you guys don't watch Twitch, do you?
I do occasionally.
Yeah, you probably know Soda Poppin' then. He's been around for a long time.
I've heard of him.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I watched him play this like a long time ago. So it looks kind of cool. I thought it looked cool then too. I just didn't know what game it was, so now I do. Yeah, I might try this. This actually is pretty cool. Yeah, I would try this. Oh, it's from Devolver. Okay.
Yeah, Devolver, man. That is one studio that is very underrated. Like, they make some really cool stuff. Just and their E3 conferences, they're so funny.
They're so dumb.
They're so dumb, but they're so good though. I just love how they just trash the gaming industry.
Yeah, they're just having fun with it.
Exactly. That's why I like it too. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your question, Gree Virus 20. Next is from our good old friend Boogles, our good friend Kyle. And he is asking us hello, boys. Hope you're all doing well and being proper gamers. So I recently saw the Star Wars Visions trailer, and it has me pretty freaking excited. I always like seeing when big budget franchises expand outwards through different mediums. Quick moment of silence for the extended book universe. All things aside, knowing that Eastern storytelling heavily affected the production of Star Wars in the first place, and seeing it come full circle like this is really cool. Time to sail the high seas and pirate some Disney Plus.
I've seen all the Visions.
Dude,
I'm really glad you've watched it all because I haven't.
I have.
Upset.
It's fantastic. Man, just like, if this is what Japanese studios can do with Star Wars, like, please make some movies, please. I would love to see a full animated movie in anime style,
or make a TV show,
or
like
do an
episode thing.
Like I mean, Disney has all the money in the world. Why not let these studios make some movies or some TV shows? I mean, come on,
full on series.
Yeah, seriously, like it's. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it boiled down to a certain concept. But again, they executed it very, very well. Mm-hmm. Like, with what they did very, very well. So I think it's great.
Well, I'd put money on this was them testing the waters for something like this.
For sure. And I did watch it in its original. So I looked up to see it was originally dubbed in Japanese, which I opted for the subtitles because I'm a sub person. But yeah, it was really good. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a big anime fan, if you're a big Star Wars fan.
Oh, I really want to watch it.
Oh,
Just haven't up myself.
It's fantastic. And all the art styles are really great too. And the way they end some stories is pretty interesting. Like, it's not like super, like, obvious. Like, some of them are, but some of them are like way out of the blue. And I was like, that's really, really refreshing to see.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, I need to get to it.
I echo everything Sam said. I mean, there's some that I didn't like as much.
Yeah,
as
for
others,
sure.
But there are definitely some really strong ones in there.
Trigger did a fantastic job with their 2 episodes. Trigger is like one of the really great studio. Fantastic. And I got introduced to some other studios too. I need to look at their work.
What does Trigger make?
Trigger made they made Promare, which is that firefighting anime movie. They also, man, Kyle's probably screaming at you right now.
Don't worry, I'll save you.
I can't remember, but they make some good stuff.
Is it Studio Trigger?
Yeah, Studio Trigger.
Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill, yeah, that's great.
Little Witch Academia.
That's a really good show. If you like
the Franxx.
Oh yeah, if you like Harry Potter, I highly recommend Little Witch Academia. Really great.
Oh, they're doing Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yes. Oh, that's right. They're making the Cyberpunk anime.
Forgot about that.
So
Interesting.
Dope.
Cool.
Man, quick side note: when are we going to see more from Hogwarts Legacy?
I know, right? Like
forgot
it has
that
been
existed.
it's been so long. Like when was the last time they had an update?
Yeah,
That's
they
I think it was
finally put out
earlier
that
this
trailer.
year, or maybe it was late last year when they said that it was going to be delayed.
They did say
I
it's
mean-
going to be heavily delayed.
I mean,
so.
I'm fine with that. I mean, honestly, I mean, if you're, I mean, Harry Potter fans are crazy.
I've never had more hope in a video game in my life because Preston and I have been fantasizing about the potential of a game like that
Dude.
since Harry Potter has existed.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
So much unfathomable potential that
Mhm.
it's impossible to live up to everyone's expectations, but it's like I hope they meet most of them because there's so much they could do.
I could die a happy man if I get a good Harry Potter game.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
One
I
that's
need.
highly replayable, has a ton of depth, a lot of different mechanics, open world Hogwarts to explore, Diagon Alley experience, quest lines, character progression.
Just let me live my fantasy of being a wizard for one game.
Man, if I were a game director, I would, whether it flopped or prevailed, I would be willing to dedicate like a decade of my life to make sure it's the best Harry Potter experience ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm not even like, I mean, I love Harry Potter. I'm not like a hardcore Harry Potter fan. I mean, I do love it, but something about just the potential of a Harry Potter video game is always like, had my mind racing about the possibilities. So,
Yeah.
anyway, I know I've talked about that extensively in this podcast.
Real quick to follow you, Garrett, I would love to see a Quidditch game. Like
Me too. Did you ever
me-
play Quidditch World Cup?
No, I didn't. But actually, someone made a Quidditch like game a couple years ago, but it got
I think I played it
cease
for
and
COD.
desist. It got
Oh,
to cease and desist. I think
really?
it did. I don't know because it was too much like it. But I would like to see a good Quidditch game.
Mhm.
Like I I don't want more FIFA. Like EA, make it. Nope, sorry, I'm not going to say that. I will see it into existence. Somebody make a good Quidditch game.
Yeah, I mean, Quidditch World Cup was pretty sick on GameCube back in the day. Preston and I played that a ton. I want a full-on Quidditch experience in Hogwarts Legacy. I hope it's there.
Have a you're an up-and-coming player and you go through a season. Maybe you have storylines and stuff.
Yeah.
My thing is just like I wonder what when you played it back in the day, like how did they balance the Seeker and all the other things? Because I mean that just seems like
I can't remember. I think what it was is that it basically played like a FIFA style game on broomsticks, but when the Seeker was ready to like chase after the I'm losing my mind.
The snitch.
Yeah, the snitch. Yeah, it turns into a different sequence, and like you race against whoever you're playing as. Whether you're playing split screen or like online, you could race against someone to catch the snitch.
So it's almost like you try to build up as much of a score as possible through like the quaffle and stuff, and then when it got to the Seeker portion, that's when you wanted to end it or even like win the game.
Yep. Yeah, and I think it may have been like ring based. Like you have to like maintain your flight through rings to build up your speed to catch the snitch.
Gotcha.
I can't remember, but that may have been what it was.
That makes a lot of sense for balance, I think.
Mm-hmm. So, but I would love to see that as well. I'd also love to see like a really in depth pod racing game too.
Why are all the fictional sports like the best part of some franchises?
Some IP, yeah. It's like there's a lot of potential, like a really dope, in depth, like almost Forza Horizon style, or just even Forza level. Maybe not as like simulation, more arcadey, but has simulation aspects. Like you build out and customize your pod racer and race on different planets. There's tournaments and everything. It'd be sick.
You know what's funny is that there was a rumor there was going to be a Star Fox racing game for a long time, and I was like, sign me up, please. I mean, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. I mean, you already have on rails. Like, why not make what's funny is I wish they would just do like a Nintendo All-Stars racing, like Mario Kart. Just like make Nintendo like characters in a racing game. Like take the engine of Mario Kart, but like have all the Nintendo characters. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Didn't that end up being that new Star Fox game? Like, wasn't that what they were working on? Like people thought it was a Star Fox racing game, but it just turned out to be that Star Fox game.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. So
and then everyone hated it.
Unfortunately.
For a good reason.
Unfortunately, but it's okay. It's all good.
Not to turn that stone over again.
No, it's all right.
Let's get back to the questions, boys.
Yep.
It's a nice little tangent. I love it. Next question is Francis J. Pete. And he is asking, or he is saying, once there were 3 great men. Upon the mountain they called home, they debated great topics, dispensing lightning bolts of wisdom from their minds. But they have disappeared, and some say they are never to return. But legends tell that they will rise one day, preferably to complain about how bad AC Valhalla is. If the legends are true, then I have a question to hail the return of our mighty heroes. What do you think is the worst video game franchise and why? That was a great question. Thank you.
That's tough. I don't know, man. Well, the problem is that I think every franchise has a terrible game is the thing.
I would say the EA Sports franchises are the worst because they hardly innovate every year. And I'm not mad about it because they develop these games and the masses, like the broader gaming world, like players buy these games and like fund them. I mean, EA has no reason to like stray from the course they've been on for over a decade, especially just basically putting out the same game every year because people buy them. So I'm not even mad about it. I'm just like, as an outsider, I'm like, that annoys me because I feel bad for the developers. Granted, they have job security. I bet their job is relatively simple day to day because they're like, well, we're making the next Madden game. We're just going to add one little minor feature, maybe even like tweak something and call it a day, basically. So they're probably. The
problem is like.
But I would be very unhappy as a game developer developing either Madden, FIFA, NHL, any of those games. I would lose my mind. I've gone to the events to preview these games a couple of times for COG, which is always fun. Like I was grateful to do that. But they're by far the most boring events out of any of the gaming events I ever went to. The EA Sports event was so boring.
The problem is that like they have this like small monopoly over the sports. Like besides, I guess 2K.
Yeah.
Like, what other sports game is there besides the EA sports games?
I mean,
that's why we need pod racing and Quidditch.
Yeah.
Those are new sports games.
Please save us pod racing.
I just want like Slugfest and Blitz to come back.
I remember Slugfest. Oh my god.
Give me
so awesome.
look. I mean, look. Let's
love Slugfest.
Let's be honest here. I'd rather watch the games than play them on a video game. Let's be completely honest. I mean, it's a simulation. That's great, but the real game is more exciting because it's you don't know what's going to happen. If I'm going to play a video game, a sports video game, I want some like arcade action, like make it like really fast and like a fast paced and just I don't know, really really fun. Like make it more, go beyond it. Like it doesn't have to be so real to life. Like I at this point. You're going to be it's going to be like a real life game. Like, well, then what's the difference between playing the video game and playing the actual sport? It needs to be some type
simulation.
Exactly. It's a simulation, which I mean, people love those games. I think that's fine. That's who they are. But man, if I want to play a video game a sports video game, man, just give me something different. Give me something more exciting, something more arcadey. That'd be more fun to play.
Nintendo kind of does that. Right?
They do, like the Mario Kart racing game. I want to see Mario Strikers. I never played that, but I heard that's a fantastic game, soccer game. I'd even love. There's actually one of my favorite animes called Haikyuu. It's a volleyball anime. I'd love to see like an arcadey like a volleyball game or just something different. Like I know. Windjammers was a thing. It's like this the frisbee game where it's almost like soccer and frisbee put together. Derek, a disc golf. Can we have a disc golf game, please?
Please, Nintendo, anybody. Where's our game?
I think it's why I've always loved Mario sports games over more simulated sports games because it's like a unique creative twist on those sports.
It's definitely like the Mario Rush game is really fun. The golf game, the speed golf's pretty fun. I mean, it's pretty wacky, but I mean, it's a lot. They always do it differently. I wish they redo the baseball game. All-Star Slugger is pretty fun. But yeah, give me now. I don't know if you have played the Mario and Sonic Olympic games. Some of them have been hit or miss from what I've heard. But I mean, those are different too. But I don't know. If I'm going to play a sports game, it's got to be something different than a simulation. I think, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Dude, I'm
the
having
worst I
such a
can
hard
think of.
time.
I mean, there's probably another one that I'm overlooking and forgetting about, but it's the first one that comes to mind for me.
I feel like this EA Sports games are too easy. I need something spicy.
More spicy.
I need something like The Last of Us.
I mean,
Boring.
some people would agree with you.
Those games suck.
What games?
The Last of Us.
Oh,
I really don't like them as much as most people, though.
Yeah, not a big fan either.
But I do play them because I think their story is very good.
Yeah.
I think where I fall short on those games is like the just playing the game is not as fun to me. But I like exploring the environments and I like the narrative of the game. So
Yeah.
there are parts that I like and some that I not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
I've never said that. Yeah, I don't have a good answer, Francis. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But next question. Oh, I love this question. I was going back and forth and with Frabs on this one.
Yeah.
He asks, when mowing lawns, do you A, do spirals, or B, do lines?
Okay. Real quick, I do a combination.
Wait, before you start,
I know what he means by spirals. I've actually done both before. I think spirals is a lot more fun than lines.
Yeah.
Why is it more fun?
Because you're constantly going in a loop, and for example, my parents' front yard when I used to mow it had slopes and different like there's a flower bed over here, there's a tree over here, there's critters in the trees over here. So when I'm doing loops, it's like I'm revisiting these pretty areas. Whereas lines, I'm just going back and forth in relatively the same area the whole time. Yeah, and that gets super monotonous really quickly. Yeah,
I think the lines look better.
The lines do look better, but I prefer to mow it like a
they do
like a spiral.
They do. I start off spiral and then I end up doing lines to finish it off.
The problem with a spiral is that like you have to start on the outside and you end on the inside, so you mess up your spiral.
Well, let me say this: I realize I've goofed here. I would do like 1 or 3 loops of a spiral, and then I do like diagonal lines the rest across the yard. I would never
you
do
overlap
a full
your
spiral.
border though?
Would you
touch your border?
Yeah, but I mean, by the end of it, it's like our grass was so like the color was so consistent that you couldn't even really tell after like a day.
Yeah,
so. It just looked like perfectly level grass after a day.
I see what you're saying with like the spiral though. The square spiral.
The
whatever
box.
shape your yard is.
Yeah.
I was giving him a hard time because Kyle
was like,
"Who does spirals?" Can you imagine trying to do a circular spiral in your yard? How ridiculous!
The only way to do that is if you had a 0 turn, I think.
Dude, I miss having a yard to mow.
I have a yard. I have to use a push mower, which is not bad. It's just it's got some slopes in it, which does not that fun.
Does it have a built-in like the little handle that?
Nah, it's not self-propelled, unfortunately, but it's not bad. Like it's really not that bad. I will say I really miss having a 0 turn. That thing, I tell you, man, I really hated cutting grass, but when I got on a 0 turn, I was like, man, I now understand what it means to like. Truly
take pride in your lawn.
It does, because it's so much fun. It's like
I've never been on a riding lawn.
Get off my damn lawn,
Jacob. I'm telling you right now, if you ever get to use a 0 turn, use it. It will change your life. You will have a moment. I mean,
Isn't that
like
good?
Now look. I might be.
This
might be hyperbole. I'm speaking here, but I'm just saying. When you do it, he's like, man, that was a lot of fun. That was very relaxing.
Get back out there. Let's go ask Bob if I can cut his yard.
Man, a hot summer's day, mowing the lawn and then taking a nice shower afterward and settling down with a glass of sweet tea.
You wash all that grease off your legs.
Sweet tea, and then like watching like a football game or something after. Like that's a classic American Sunday.
Great time to listen to a podcast. Great time to listen to music.
Yeah, dude, I would jam the heck out to some heavy metal mowing the lawn.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to y'all a few times when I've mowed or weeded. So
nice choice.
I tell you, man. Weed eating, like I've learned to enjoy it. I used to hate it, but now I'm like okay with it.
Weed eating I don't like as much.
Yeah.
Actually, any yard work aside from mowing, I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah.
Oh man. You still got to do it though, or it's gonna look like crap.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep up with the Joneses, man.
But I do. I would like a yard of my own one day, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I'm sure you'll have one, buddy.
I wanted
believe
one
in
with
you.
you guys, but the timing didn't work out. All of us moving in together again.
Oh yeah, we were talking about a house, weren't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Maybe it's probably still not out of the question.
Yeah, that's what you told me for years, dude.
Hey,
when
we're all
push,
still
when push
single.
comes to shove, like, oh, sorry, I can't do it.
Well, we've never actually committed to it.
I've always been ready to commit.
We've just flirted with it.
Yeah, well, I was dead serious.
I mean, the whole
I was flirting with intention, Jacob. You were just flirting for fun.
I mean,
you played with my heart.
The entire community's been
sorry.
waiting, guys. I mean, you got to make it happen at some point.
We need to.
And
really
we could be, Jacob, the thing about this, dude, we could be playing Diablo 2 Resurrected in the same house tonight.
Naked.
Fully nude. But you and Preston freaking blew it, dude. So now we got to play from afar, which will still be fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not the same as having a
Garrett-
little
I'll still be
tavern
naked,
we made
you
in
know?
our
I
apartment.
mean, Garrett, can you imagine watching Jacob do the dishes?
Fully nude? I've seen it, man. I lived with the man for years. One of the best years of my life by far.
It was a fun year.
Oh man.
Let's make it another.
Yeah, dude. Whenever you're ready, dude. My lease is up in May of next year. First week of May.
I have to wait that long?
I mean, I'll break my lease if it means I can move into a house with you guys.
Okay. I didn't know you would do that.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
That's the thing. There's no going back after that, though. It's like burning a bridge with apartment living for the rest of my life. So,
Yeah.
I think I'd rather wait till the first week of May. We'll see.
We'll see.
Just in case. You never know.
Where's our next question?
We
There's a
got
lot
Grace
of
Woods' notes.
dialogue here.
Carlos, I have the next. I have the next one.
All right, go ahead, Sam.
All right, this is from Carlos Perez Spooks. So might not be maybe a request or a question, but for the next episode prior, can we have a taco talk? Highly miss those, and boys even not meeting up to eat together, webcam it, and eat together and share some nice Baja Blast so we can have a
dude.
segment. Love y'all, haha. I ask this as I eat 4 tacos and sipping on some blast myself. But for a
Heck
question,
yeah, dude.
what is the best Taco Bell memory? Lastly, tacos or burritos, which have your heart?
Dude,
Thank you,
I have
Carlos.
answers to all of this, dude. All of it.
Yeah, man.
After you guys.
Let me start by saying, Garrett, that could have been us tonight if it wouldn't have been for me.
Yeah, you said you were tired of driving. You could have been in
I
my
am.
apartment right now.
I'm exhausted. I got up at 5 this morning.
So I have a memory for Taco Bell. It's actually fairly recent, this past year. One of the first trips that I took with Carrie, my girlfriend. We were coming back and we were stopping in Augusta. That was like the halfway point for us from going from, I think, Alabama or part of Georgia. And I was like, man, I'm hungry. It's like, do you want to get Taco Bell? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, you don't mind getting Taco Bell? Yeah, I think Taco Bell's great. And I'm like, what?
We're meant to be.
I'm like,
That's when I knew.
hold on a second. You like Taco Bell? She's like, yeah, I like Taco Bell. I'm like, guys, that's when I fell in love.
Yeah. I get that, dude.
We went there and but what was great, we went there and it's kind of funny.
The way she smashed that burrito.
She so we got there and apparently they were coming back down from COVID procedures. But they had a lock on the bathroom, a key code for the bathroom. So I had to go and ask someone to unlock the bathroom for me. Because it had a keypad on it. I was like, what is this?
So was it a stall or was it just the bathroom itself?
It was the bathroom door to get into the bathroom. Like it was locked. It was super weird. Yeah. Then we, as we got out, we were going back to the car, and apparently there was a domestic dispute happening across the street.
That happens there.
And this police officer was there, like handling, and we were both like, okay. So it was very awkward. So it was really funny. That was just one of the most recent Taco Bell memories I've had. So that was pretty great. But man, I think every time I go to Taco Bell is a memory, dude. It's always a special time.
It's always my favorite time.
It is. By the way, any of you out there, you should definitely get the Taco Bell app because they give you early access to new items, which I know what the new item's going to be.
All right, you got to send me a whisper.
I'll just say it. It's called the Catalina Crunch Taco.
Whoa.
It's like a. It's
I
like
almost got one of those last night.
Yeah, it's like a special taco shell, I think, and it's got like chicken and cheese, but also another one has beans in it, which I'm not a fan of beans. Gonna be honest.
Sorry.
No, I'm good. But yeah. If any of you Taco Bell heads out there, if you want to get early access, get the app.
I have the app. I just don't use it.
And you can get rewards too, like with Chick-fil-A.
Dude,
I
what
used
have I
to
been
use
doing
that
all these years?
all the time.
Well, okay, quit food tangent.
I'm still a red member on Chick-fil-A, by the way.
If any of you guys heard of Slim Chickens?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay,
No. I'm
I'm telling you guys, if you want really good wings and tenders, it is the best place to go.
Where is this
I
at?
love tendies.
I think there's a lot there. It originated in Arkansas. There's a lot in Texas. There's one down here where I live in Alabama. There's, I think, a few in Georgia. I'm not too sure. You may have to look at where it's at, but I'm telling you guys, great fast food place for wings, for chicken tenders. Milkshakes are pretty decent. They're not the best, but man, they have like all their house sauces are homemade. Like their ranch, guys, the ranch is fantastic. It is homemade buttermilk ranch.
The ranch on them wanks.
They have cayenne ranch. They have
Dude, you are speaking my love language
three different barbecue sauces, honey mustard.
stop.
I mean, dude, man, it's so good. Like it's I'm telling you, it is a revelation. Like, and get this, the one that's down here, they built it right across from Chick-fil-A.
They're confident.
So now I know where I'm going. Now I'm where I'm going on Sundays.
Gone
So
to war
anyway.
with the Lord's chicken.
But if anyone out there is close to the Slim Chickens, I'm telling you, it's great. I mean,
Slim chickens.
a little preview for you guys. I might have this at my wedding.
Oh, dude.
Not even kidding you.
Man.
So good.
I think you
But
should.
that's all.
I
But
need to
that's
get
all.
this stuff.
And then for me, I'm a burrito man.
Depends on where I'm at, if I'm burrito or taco, because I love both. But Taco Bell, I'm mostly a burrito guy.
Yeah.
But most other like Mexican style restaurants, I'm typically a taco man. But there are some good burritos out there for sure. We're talking about Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That is a good, very endearing Taco Bell memory, by the way. I've experienced a similar situation myself, which was awesome. So I get that. What about you, Jacob? I know you and I share many Taco Bell memories, but are there any maybe that don't involve us?
That don't involve you.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I go there after or for lunch break sometimes, and I always make a mess. Always make an absolute mess when I eat at Taco Bell. I got sauce everywhere. I got ripped packets all over my desk. You know,
Yeah.
it's gross, but it's always very good. But it always it never fails. After like an hour and a half after I eat Taco Bell, I always got to go to the bathroom. I don't know why it's that long. That's how long it takes to go through me, and I have to go. And it's like every time I eat it now, it's like a laxative for me.
Nice. I wish it worked like a laxative for me. I'm down for natural laxatives, man.
Oh yeah.
I love a good dump anytime. So
I actually really like their they just came out with that like little chicken little taco thing.
those are pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're good. They're very simple. It's just chicken
Yeah.
with some sauce on it, but it's good. I mean, it actually the last one I had kind of tasted weird. Like I've ordered them 3 times, and one of them I ordered like 3 last time I went. One of them tasted really weird. I was like, ugh, I'm not gonna finish this.
Zach and I got meant to get multiple last time I saw him, and our last time we got Taco Bell, but they goofed and gave us 1, so we cut it in half and had like a bite each. But that one bite I had was really good.
Yeah. And I'm back to drinking like regular soda now, so I'm enjoying the Baja.
Dude, I had an unbelievably good brew of Baja Blast last night. It's been a while for me too, because Baja Blast, you can mess up pretty easily. And I've had like okay Baja Blast. I've had pretty good Baja Blast, and I've had it where they nail it, dude. And when they nail it, I'm reminded of like, this is why it's king of the sodas. Like, this is why is when it's good. When it's that good.
Yep. I think my fondest memories of going to Taco Bell would be just us going there like several nights during the week, and we would always crawl into your car. We would cram it. There'd be like 6 of us.
Yes, like there'd be like roughly 6 dudes in my car.
Five people.
Our tradition was to go to because the QT and Taco Bell were right next door to each other. So we go in QT and get a ton of unnecessary snacks and candy and other drinks.
So much caffeine. At
Sorry, I actually got to go to a QT for the first time a few months ago.
Oh, for the first time.
Great. It reminds me of a place called Sheets. It's almost like a QT.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, now I know what the hubbub's about. Now I can relate to you guys.
Have you been to Buc-ee's before?
Yes, I actually went to the one in Leeds, Alabama. We went there, got me a tumbler. Dude, that place is like crazy. Like,
it's amazing. It changed my life, dude.
I
went
know,
for the
right?
first time in this
dude,
trip
it's
recently.
like, I know that like, oh man, like perfect place for like shopping and stuff. Like I know when we're gonna be my mom and sister. They're coming down for Thanksgiving. They're gonna love that place. But they had a peach habanero hot sauce.
Yeah,
dude,
they're
fantastic.
not messing around at Buc-ee's, dude.
I really want to get some of their food sometime, but it'll be after next week when I get processed. I think the first thing I'm going to eat is Taco Bell.
Dude, that's a great way to celebrate.
That's my celebration. But yeah, I got me a tumbler or like one of those, almost like a Yeti tumbler of Buc-ee's on there. Got really good roasted nuts and stuff. Those are really
the roasted
good.
Nuts are killer.
So good. And they have such a big variety of everything.
They have fudge. They have barbecue sandwiches.
It's insane though.
Beaver nuggets.
I tried those. They're pretty good. Yeah. They remind me of corn pops.
Corn pops and meats like honeycomb cereal.
But I've never seen so many gas pumps in my life. It's ridiculous.
A ton of gas. And the bathrooms are massive and gorgeous too.
I didn't get to go to the bathroom.
They're well known for their bathrooms too, how clean they are.
But yeah, I didn't mean to like get off the tangent, but man, like just that was an experience I want to replicate for sure.
Yeah. Buc-ee's is
I will say
place.
that I think that Racetrack is better than QT.
I think Racetrack has
down.
kind of taken the lead as well over QT, personally.
They have a better indoor experience.
They do. It's much wider. It's not as congested.
Yeah.
I like the layout, and it's
they
also
got way better coffee. Way better.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with you.
And they
actually,
have fresher food.
full on agree with you.
I think QT might have better pizza though. I actually don't eat the pizza at either one.
I haven't had
pizza at
either
Racetrack looks better.
But it does look pretty good.
And I always grab breakfast. Like whenever I'm out driving early in the mornings, I'll go into a Racetrack and I'll grab a fresh breakfast sandwich.
Nice.
That they make 15 minutes prior, because I know when they make them, because I go to the certain one. And then I grab a fresh coffee, a dark roast coffee.
Ooh, man,
that's how I start my morning, man. It's the best.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like I love a good gas station, and QT, Racetrack, and Buc-ee's especially are great experiences. I don't even know how we got there. We were talking about Taco Bell.
Sam brought us there.
I have many good Taco
before
Bell
we move
memories.
on. Yeah, we do have a lot of good memories. But I'm a taco man. I'm not a burrito guy. I've never been a burrito guy.
Yeah, you love your soft tacos.
I do. I love soft Takis.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good soft taco, man. I love them too.
I mean, I know I'm a burrito guy, but I won't pass up a taco. I mean, it's great. It's just, I think the burrito is just a more complete food package. Bite. And also what's great too, you can put it in a bowl if you want to, if you don't want all those carbs.
You can put it in a bowl.
Dude, there is a fat burrito at a place called Monero at Pond City Market in Atlanta. It is, it's basically, it's a gigantic, thick boy, dude. This thing, it's like a football basically. And then there's melted, fried cheese covering the tortilla on the outside too.
Oh, Garrett, thank you for that recommendation with, was it Frosties? No.
Big Softy.
Dude, thank you so much. That was so good.
I love that place, man.
We tried to go to Pond City Market, but that place was crowded when we went there.
It's super crowded all the time.
It's ridiculous. We couldn't find a parking space, so we ended up with Big Softy. But anyway, but yeah, man, burritos, I don't know what it is. It's just, I just feel like it's an experience. Like a taco is so much more quicker. You eat a little bit faster. With a burrito, you have more time to savor it, to eat it, and just experience. And every little bite you get it's just a story.
Sam, you can just say you like beans. It's okay.
I do not like beans. I've tried my entire life to eat beans. The only beans I eat are garbanzo beans, aka chickpeas.
Do you not like black beans?
No,
What about pinto beans? Lima beans?
Nope.
Green beans?
Yes, green beans. Although they're not really. I don't consider them a bean. They're more of a stalk.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
They're beans.
I love me some green beans.
Yeah, green beans.
Don't say that about them.
French style, my favorite.
We're missing a bean. Baked beans. You like baked beans?
Nah, can't do it.
What about a Jim Bean?
Dude, barbecue baked beans are really good when they're done.
Hey, Jim Bean's fine with me.
Oh, that Jim Bean. Let me tell you. Some good stuff. Dude, Garrett, Elliot is still drinking Jim Bean. Anytime I see him, he's got Jim Bean on deck.
I respect his consistency.
Yeah. When was the last time you talked to that guy?
Andy's wedding was the last time I talked to him.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
It's almost a year. It probably is a year.
Yeah, I think it's over a year now. Just coming up on a year.
Man.
So, yeah. Great. I'm trying to think of one like short Taco Bell memory. I could name 1,000, but I loved for years and years and years, we've all been going to Taco Bell together, but especially the year we were all living together, it was so much fun, especially when we were binging the first few seasons of Game of Thrones. Like a couple times a week, we'd all go to still to this very day, and I'm not exaggerating just because it was the four of us together, but one of the best, consistently great Taco Bell experiences was in Duluth, Georgia in 2012. Their manager was just the best. And like not only just was he enthusiastic about his job, but he had his whole staff stoked to be making Taco Bell. So every time we went through there, not only was the food immaculate, but they were like excited to be serving us, which is like so rare in fast food. So it was always a good experience. We'd go at like midnight a couple times a week and come back and binge like 2 or 3 episodes of Game of Thrones with Taco Bell. So much fun.
4.
Yeah, it was great.
That was like my bedtime back then. It was 4 a.m.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me too.
Get up at noon or later. I miss that. Every once in a while, I'll get to sleep until like 11 or 12. I'm like, I miss this. I think I did that like 2 or 3 weekends ago. It was really nice. All right, next question from Grace Wins. With so many games being created or have been created, how do each of you select the games you play? Do you complete them? If not, do you feel kind of bad about not completing them? There are just so many games.
I have not completed a handful of games over the last year, mostly because I've been busy, but also if a game doesn't really hook me and I don't feel like I'm having a ton of fun, I don't have a problem anymore with just not finishing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel obligated to finish a game I'm not having a ton of fun with.
No, I've been trying to want to complete more of them. Depends on the game though. Like, hopefully I'll complete Metroid Dread 100%. But yeah, I think there is some satisfaction with completing it. But there's just this thing of like, if the game just if you have to dedicate a lot of time to it, then I mean, if it's worth it, and you love it, you play it. But sometimes I'm just like, I just want to finish it, and be done with it. Maybe come back to it a little bit, but yeah, there is a lot. So I think it's great to have like bite-sized experiences here and there, and then like with Metroid Dread though, like I'm definitely gonna take my time. Like I know I want to rush and beat it and stuff, but I really think I'm gonna take my time and just explore every nook and cranny. I mean, that's what a Metroid is. You explore every nook and cranny, you find every little secret. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't really feel bad about not completing them, but it is nice to complete one every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. I used to be a pretty big stickler about like if I bought a game, I was gonna complete it or at least play it a lot. But I think especially this year, I've started a fair few games, but I've only really completed maybe 1 or 2. One of those being like Ratchet and Clank. Loved that game, the new one. But yeah, I don't really. I don't know. Like if I really like a game, I'm gonna finish it. That's just how I've always been. But and I usually always. Like this has been true in the past, and I usually only buy games that I intend on finishing. Maybe I don't end up finishing them, but I always start a game intending on finishing it. So That's kind of how I've been, but I guess that's not necessarily true anymore. And I've been buying less games this year overall. So that's been kind of strange as well. It's been a weird year too, because like there hasn't been too many games coming out. There's been quite a few, but there's not like, it feels like a weird year. Like Call of Duty just got announced like a couple weeks ago or something. And it's usually in May. Like everything's just so weird because of COVID and everyone's still working from home making games. It's a weird time. But we still got a couple really good games coming out this fall, hopefully. Hopefully they're good. Really want that Battlefield to be good. I've been dying to play Battlefield. I need to jump into that beta this weekend when it becomes free. I think it's on Friday or Saturday that it's free. So I'm going to be jumping in. Hopefully it's not too buggy for me.
We'll see.
We will see.
I've heard horror stories about it so far.
All right. Next question from Nick Fribes. Why do you think so many games are shooting fighting based? Is it concerning that so many of the most popular games are FPSs or third person open world games with the core mechanic of being fight and kill other thing? Only standout exceptions are sport games, Death Stranding, sort of, Portal, and sim games. Is it possible to make non-violent, universally appreciated games? This is a good question.
It is.
Do I think it's concerning that the most popular games are just a couple genres? Not really. I mean, I think there's something to be said about people enjoying violence because, I think a lot of people play games because it's an escape from reality, right?
Yeah.
And, killing things with guns or, using swords in a magical land is just not something that you can do in real life, at least not yet, until we get like AR or something like that, which is still a game. But, games are just an escape for people and, and I think a lot of it with shooters, even now, like it started in a different place, but now it's just at a point where it's so refined. And once a genre gets so refined that it's like pleasurable just to experience playing the game, and that just keeps drawing you in. Like, anything's going to reel you in like that. And like they've gotten to the point where everything just seems so realistic. Like the guns, like they actually record audio from, firing guns, and they go, and like some RPGs or some games, they go to like real life places and they like take environments. And this is more of a thing in movies, but it still kind of applies. But like, people, we're making things more and more realistic, and, things have become more and more refined over time. And, I honestly think shooters have kind of like gotten to sort of a peak. Or like, what else are we really doing with that genre? Because I don't really know. Like, we've gotten to the point where visuals are incredible. Even things are catching up to Call of Duty in terms of like how things play and like how they feel to actually control on a controller. But what are y'all's thoughts on this? I'm kind of rambling right now.
I think there is there's few and far between non-violent games per se. The only ones that come to me are like Journey, anything like simulation, like Flight Simulator, sports games, racing games. Even racing games to a degree have some violence in it. I mean, you look at Burnout. I mean, that's all violence, really, crashing and stuff, which is fun. I think there is a catharsis to playing a violent game, because you wouldn't normally go out and start hacking and slashing at people in real life. I know we all thought about it and want to, but it is an escape, like you said. But I think that's just the basics. I mean, that is just literally it's like every game's like, okay, story, music, combat, other mechanics, puzzles. That's what most games are now. Except if it's a shooter, then it's all, that kind of, it's different. But I think you can make a non-violent game that can be appreciate.
Yeah, Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah. It's not violent at all. It's not guns are shooting. They're shooting paintball guns at each other. No, I think to a degree, you can have without violence. But I think, again, like you were saying, it's an escape. We're getting out of reality where we can't really do anything about our thoughts. Games lets us experience things that we couldn't experience in the real world. So that's why I think shooting fighting base is okay with me. It is nice every once in a while to play something that's not that, but most of the time I'm end up playing something that is related to that. I mean, like I'll play, Mario Golf. There's no really violence there unless you blow up somebody with your golf ball or something. But again, it's more for comedic effect and more for a mechanic of the game than actually like hurting someone. So it just depends. I think it's. I think most of them are. Unfortunately, that's how it is. But there's different ways they do it, though. It's all implemented differently, I think, to a degree. So.
I almost wonder, like, if shooters became popular because of when games were starting to be created.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stick with me here. Like, so when video games were really first starting to be a thing, like, there was wars happening all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
World War II happened in the 30s, 40s,
yeah.
40s, and then then came Korean, Vietnam, and the Cold War. All this, Cold War wasn't a real war, but it was a war.
Yeah,
and that maybe that sort of like spurred creative violence within creative mediums. I don't know. It's something to think about. I think it's certainly possible for a game that's not violent to be, hugely successful. I mean, there has been some, like Portal, for example. But I think it's much more likely. I think it's more of a thing where there's established genres that just happen to become a genre for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And, once people gets hooked on something, they're going to be a fan of other games like that. And it's sort of going to create an ecosystem of that they sort of like exist in, where they play those other games with other people that also share those same beliefs. And you create all these little micro communities that play different kinds of games. And I don't know, like, because almost every genre, I'm pretty sure, is just spurred off of something that came before it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some exceptions there, but
yeah, I mean,
that's how it goes.
You look at music. I mean, there's so many chords and so many combinations, and usually, inspiration or artists today are inspired from what happened in the past, and whatever works. Of course, some people deviate and do their own thing and try to make a different sound or make something that's not popular per se. But with games, it's like everything's inspired. Everything is inspired by something. That's what art is. So if the prevailing mechanic is fight, kill, shoot, then go with it. But you can do it in a creative way that's different. That's not going to be cookie cutter or exactly the same. But it is nice every once in a while when you can find a game that doesn't have really violence as a mechanic or fighting as a mechanic. But it's just really hard to I don't know, like a lot of it just comes with puzzle games, like was it Luminous, Bejeweled, Candy Crush. I know it's a mobile game.
My mom plays Bejeweled. She loves it.
I think there is some in the gaming history where there are games that had no violence or no shooting involved and were still pretty popular, made an impact on society. So
sure.
So yeah, I definitely there's definitely room for that.
So putting yourself in the perspective of Nick, because he is a parent, do you think it's concerning that so many games are FPSs are like violent?
I mean, you go back to the debate of do games induce violence or cause violent thoughts or violent behavior from children? And it's been
that's a whole can of worms,
right? But I mean, it has been proven that it hasn't. I mean, I grew up playing all sorts of games, and I don't really have any tendencies, but that doesn't say that someone else could be influenced by it. But when it comes down to it, there's no correlation between violence in video games and violence in real life. It's all about the person. But I understand, though, is that I'm not a parent. Neither of us are parents yet, but I can definitely understand, do you want your kids to be exposed to violence and stuff at a young age to become desensitized? That way you don't have any empathy or any type of concern later on. I mean, that's definitely something. I mean, you look at the most recent game that came out recently, Nicktoons Brawl, which is like the, going to be the big smash killer or whatever. It is cartoon characters smacking each other. I mean, there's no blood, there's no painful, dismemberments, but it is still violence in a way. But I don't know. I mean, that's a whole nother, I think, discussion. But I can definitely see why he's concerned about it. Is that,
Yeah. I don't even know if he's concerned. He's just,
No, right. No, I understand. But, I mean, with I mean, I don't want to shelter my kids, but I also want to protect them and keep them from, experiencing things until they're mature for it. I think that's what it comes down to, is maturity level. I mean, that's why you have a rating system for games. And I think kids playing, like an 11-year-old playing GTA may not be the best idea.
Yeah. Maybe wait till like 14 or something.
14 or 15. I mean, it's just a maturity level. If I think my child's ready for it, then yeah, I think that's fine. But again, I just think it comes down to maturity level and what the parents teach them. I think that's what it comes down to. But I'm not really concerned by the amount of shooting, and it's also the audience they're making it for. You think, who are they making these games for? So
people with money.
Yeah, people with the money.
Thank you for your question, Nick. Garrett, you got time for 2 more? Or do you want to input on that question?
No, I think you guys covered it, man. It was
All
good.
right, man. Would you read the next one for me? I don't want to talk
the
anymore.
Fribes one? Oh, no, we just did Fribes.
Yeah, we just did that one.
Sam, do you want us to read yours while you're here?
Sam, could you read this question for me?
Sure, I love to. Let's see, we got a 32 Speedster. What name is that? I don't understand that.
I don't know, that's really dumb.
I do like his shirt though. That's a pretty cool shirt, I think. Gentlemen,
Yeah.
it feels like eons since I last heard from you. I'm sure that life has kept you all busy, which is good, but know that this community is still here, always waiting for your triumphant return. Quick life update. I'm nearing the completion of my military goal. Just a few more pounds and inches. The lady and I are planning the wedding stuff, but aren't engaged yet. Still waiting on our price for a ring and Christmas to get here so I can propose. Here's my question. Chris Pratt as Mario? Okay. Enough memeing. With the choice of using A-list names and going animated, is Nintendo playing it safe when it comes to the Mario movie? Or are they trying to avoid another Super Mario Brothers live-action situation? With the breadth of talented voice actors out there, why settle for Hollywood ones? I think the cast is talented, but why aren't VAs more prominently scouted? Love to hear your thoughts. Have a great week, and just know I'll consider you guys my favorite gaming, movie, and all-around podcast.
Love you to bits, brother.
Thank you, 32 Speedster.
Thank you. Thank you for writing.
Yeah, you're a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Sorry we didn't read that during.
No, I kind of figured that, but I think we covered it. But to touch on like VA actors, like I wanted
to touch on that earlier. I just forgot to mention it.
Yeah, you have a lot of them now come boil down to like either it's Troy Baker, Nolan North, or Laura Bailey at this point. There are some other ones too, but yeah, with the amount of voice actors you have, I don't know why you couldn't go with people who do this for a living, Not saying that Hollywood actors can't voice act. A lot of them have done that. Jack Black's done Kung Fu Panda, good movie series. Chris Pratt did the Lego movies and stuff like that. Some of these people have experience with voice acting, but I think it'd be nice to have voice actors. I know they're not as prominent or well known, but the talent, but their living is based off their voice performance. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to have a voice driven movie, then why not go with people who do this for a living? Like more so than Hollywood actors is what I'm thinking.
That's certainly one side of it. The opposite argument would be, it's that star power. It's going to bring in those people to see the movie. Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier.
And do those voice actors do that? Maybe for people that are already fans.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's such a niche community. It's going to be more prominent, I think, but it's still pretty.
Oh, sure.
It's still not as.
It's not everybody.
No, if you want to go even further, you think about one example is Dungeons and Dragons has been more prominent thanks to Critical Role and for more people are streaming it, but it is still a niche thing. Like you're not going to be able to like just go up to anyone and say, hey man, how'd your campaign go? Like, what are you talking about? It's definitely that thing of like, okay, if you're making a movie, how are you going to promote this and get people to come watch it? Get Hollywood actors. So.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for writing in 32 Speedster. Last question, boys. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, this is a good one. It's from Beto. Yes. Hi, overlords of gaming. Here's an off-topic one. Did the Atlanta Falcons blow it during the 2021 NFL Draft, taking 4th overall tight end Kyle Pitts? If so, whom should have been their pick? Keep safe and don't ever, again, go on a 2-month span without letting us know you're okay. Sorry, Beto. It was Garrett's fault. I blame Garrett.
Yeah, totally.
It wasn't me. I blame Preston, actually. He's not here.
I do blame Preston the most.
He can't defend himself. Do I think it was a mistake to take Kyle Pitts? I do. He's very good. He's incredible, actually. But we got a potato throwing him the ball behind the line in Matt Ryan. So he's only getting so many throws.
You guys want to hear a funny story about Matt Ryan?
Yes.
I guess. Did you see him?
I met a guy, it was earlier this year actually now, but he was at a wedding. I was talking just casual conversation. And he told me he drives for DoorDash and he delivered a meal to Matt Ryan's house. And when he found out it was Matt Ryan, he took a bite out of his panini or something and then gave it to him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was like, man, what an asshole. But at the same time, funny story.
Man,
he bit something that was inconspicuous. It was some kind of food where it's like you wouldn't even realize, but he took a bite out of it.
You should have eaten all of it and then just like did in like mustard or something, like 28-3.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
So I don't know any of the names of the offensive linemen that were taken in the draft, but I think that should have been our focus because our line is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They've been terrible for a long time. They're even worse this year. Defense has improved a little bit, but we need people to guard our quarterback because Matt Ryan doesn't have the best arm anymore, and he doesn't get any time to throw the ball, period. He's just under pressure all the time. It's terrible. But other than that, I would probably have taken someone like Justin Fields. He was available when they picked, and they didn't take him. So he's actually not doing that great in Chicago. I mean, he's doing okay. Last week he did okay. But it would have been nice to sort of have something to sort of develop, in a quarterback and have maybe a future going forward. But I guess there's always next year, right? maybe we'll win two or three games this year. Maybe we got one down. We beat the worst team in the league, so that's good. And we're playing the other New York team this week, so we'll actually probably lose to the Jets. I bet we will.
Yeah,
but no one cares about this conversation, so
my team took their quarterback. So
yeah, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, although they blew it in Dallas last week, so I don't know.
No, Dallas is decent.
Yeah, they're good, but I think they should have at least. I mean, they came back in the fourth quarter, but man, that third quarter was terrible. They just really dropped the ball, literally.
Who have they beaten so far?
They didn't play great. They played the Jets first week. Oh, yeah. They played the Texans. And then they played not Miami. Saints. They played the Saints. Oh. So three bad teams and then one decent team. So we'll just see what happens next week. I think they play the Eagles, which that should be a win. But
Eagles are okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
They beat us. We're not good.
But I don't know. I mean, McCaffrey got hurt again, which they're just they are just working him to death. They're putting too much pressure on him, putting too much.
He's so good though. It's hard.
He's
not
fantastic.
To just give him the ball.
He's. I mean, what do you do? I mean, when you have a golden gun, I mean, why not use it? But the only problem is that you got to keep him healthy, and then the defense just kind of just dropped. Like they were literally number one defense before that Dallas game, and then they dropped in rank. But I don't know. We'll just see what happens after this week. But I have confidence they'll have a pretty decent shot. I mean, they're still leading the NFC South, but I mean, I hate to break it to
so
you.
you guys are the Bucks, but it's probably going to be the Bucks.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm afraid to play against Tom Brady. He has been the bane of the Panthers for. Well, they beat them back in 2004.
He's the bane of everybody.
They beat him, definitely, but specifically in 2004, he was the bane of us. Actually, no, it was Adam.
Yeah.
It was Adam Vinatieri when he was with the Patriots. He had the game-winning field goal, and then Peyton Manning was the bane of us. So
that was one of the first Super Bowls that I remember watching.
Yeah. Been to the Super Bowl twice, hasn't won yet. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know. We'll just I just hope that we can stay healthy and just learn from our mistakes this past week. But we got a really good, solid receiving core. Got a decent running back, and got a great defense. Our offensive line's okay, but we'll see what happens.
Someone who's playing good on the Falcons is Cordell Patterson.
Yeah,
we got him from free agency. That dude is a monster.
Oh yeah.
Like, we've thrown long TD passes to him. He's ran big runs out of the backfield.
Yeah,
he does everything.
Yeah,
it's great.
So
and he's a returner.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's waiting for him to take one back.
Mm-hmm.
But we're putting everyone to sleep, Sam.
Yeah.
No one cares about football.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Jacob and Sam.
Garrett, sir, we are out of questions. We're out of topics.
We're back.
And we're out of time.
Yeah. It was an honor, gentlemen. Sam, I'm really glad that you were able to jump in with us. I felt bad too. I feel bad that it's just been so long since we've done an episode, but also this week when I was like, hey man, we'd love to have you, and then we like delay it by 2 days in a row just
fine.
for different reasons.
It worked out fine. I'm just glad I was able to come on because may not see y'all for. Well, I mean, y'all probably hear from me, but probably won't see y'all for a while because once January hits, man, I'll be gone for 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Gonna miss having you around for those 6 months.
Yeah, well, at least I know 2 months I will be complete radio silence because I will not have any. I have no outside world connections except for letters. So it'll be old school, which I'm looking forward to actually, just to get away from everything and just focus. Like I can imagine what kind of focus I'll have when I get back.
Mm-hmm.
So
be a new man,
pretty much.
You have a tale or two of your own to tell when you get back.
Oh yeah, I know. Kyle's waiting for me to swap. He wants to swap basic stories with him because he's told me quite a bit about the Marines. So I'll definitely tell him about the Army for sure.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I'd like to hear that on his podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
So you'll have to make an appearance there.
I shall.
You still go on his show? Sometimes,
yeah. Yeah, I went on there a couple of times this past month, but I haven't been on there in a while. So we'll see. I am. I don't know when I'll finish the this big story that I've been writing, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we got sidetracked.
I know. I got sidetracked with a lot of stuff, so we'll see. It's still on my mind though. From time to time, it comes back. I get some ideas, so we'll see what happens.
All right, we're on standby.
I know we want to do a big like finale where we all voice act and for the last for the last chapter.
I'd be all
the only
for
fitting
that.
way to conclude it.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. And I definitely missed hearing from y'all, but it's great to get back on and do a full length podcast this time because I think the last time I was on, it was pretty short. So it was nice to have a full time with y'all.
Totally.
Yeah, this is a beefy one.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to be with us because it's great.
For sure.
Yep. It's exciting seeing how far you've come on this personal journey.
Yeah, I'm just
sort of began.
It's the very last hump. It's always the hardest. But I think I can do it,
man. You will prevail.
Yeah. Thanks.
And stories of your glory will be shared for many millennia to come.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, it was good seeing you again too, man.
It was great seeing you again. It was great hearing your voice, seeing you in that nice golden lighting.
In
the darkness.
So mysterious.
The darkness.
While you sit there and worry about not getting a time lapse of the
beautiful
clouds.
Yeah, maybe next time. I think I am going to pick up Alan Wake as soon as we wrap this. It's only $30.
Oh,
nice.
So I thought it was like 60 or at least 60. So
now you only have 8 games to play.
Exactly. So it's just going to be a bummer if I start playing. I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm not feeling this. We'll see.
That's good, man. Next time I'll have to come down there and do it in person with you.
Please do.
I want to make that happen.
Get some
We'll
good
have some
food while you're here
T-bone.
too. Yep.
We'll have a taco talk.
Yeah, we will.
Just like Carlos
I still want to do
wants.
that Taco Bell ASMR video we talked about.
I do too. Maybe we can do like a Saturday and just spend the whole day dedicating to those two things.
Let's do it, man. Whenever you're
do
ready,
it.
any Saturday.
Make sure you get a Baja Blast ASMR too. Like, just make sure you get right up to the mic when you're sipping it.
Jacob, you can come this Saturday if you want.
Am I doing anything on Saturday? I think I might be able to. I don't know if I could be out late.
It's all right.
But
You let me know, brother.
I'll let you know tomorrow.
Alrighty.
I think I'm free.
I love how we always end up concluding this podcast like we're just talking like we're on the phone or something. It's, like, it's so meaningless for the podcast. We just keep going.
We never know how to say goodbye.
Yeah. Well, again, we apologize. I don't believe there's a single person on the planet that was actually waiting around for us, but we do apologize anyway for not posting an episode in a while. We do appreciate all of you tuning in, even when we go on a long hiatus like that. Because believe it or not, in spite of our conflicting schedules and our delays, we still do love doing this podcast. And without the support of you guys sending us questions and hanging out on the Discord, we would not exist anymore. So it is all thanks to you guys, and we are very grateful for the support. And miss you to bits. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. And yeah, had a great time, gentlemen. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Same.
Shout out to the Discord family.
Yes.
You guys are the heart of
Holding
us.
strong.
Always have.
All right, boys. Well, again, it was a pleasure, and we will catch you all again next time.
See you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Later.